So this is a great night for rugby league, a great night to kick off rugby league in Australia.
By the way, Ian Cohen will be a vital part of our Melbourne coverage again in 2026. He's on Formula One duty this week, and I tell you what, the plane was so chockers today with Oscar Piastri T-shirts off. Have you been swept up in the Formula One craze?
No, I'm not that into Formula One, but a lot of people are. Interesting note here, just on the field, just ringing the storm siren. We've got a couple of LA Rams players who have come over hosting it, hoping to see a good night of rugby league.
Well, they'll be here in September, we believe, at some point to take on the San Francisco Giants in a competition NFL match across the way at the MCG. So that's going to be a big occasion. Good to see the LA Rams being represented here. A reminder that we have a new rugby league show for you on a Monday night. It's on local radio in Sydney, Brisbane and Canberra, and in regional areas all over the place. If you're listening currently on News Radio Melbourne, I'll tell you how to hear it if you want to, because as ever it's on ABC Listen, including the app. Just find the green ABC Sport button for all of your rugby league content. Pre-game shows, the games, and now NRL Monday. It's between 6:30 and 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and I'll be joined by a co-host for the second half of every show. So far it's been Louis. He was there for the opener, and Matthew Elliott. Next Monday night it's Ruan Sims, so looking forward to that. Spoke to Rue earlier and she's raring to go. We wrap up the round. We'll look at the main issues or two to come out of it. Who is our expert buying or selling? We'll have some interviews, a look ahead to the next round. Quite an action-packed little show, actually. NRL Monday with me, 6:30 to 7:30 every Monday night, and we'll catch you next week, hopefully. Louis, no doubt after your starring performance week one, you were listening diligently this Monday.
I thought Matty was amazing.
Did you?
Yeah, but you were better.
Yes. Around the grounds in the AFL, Carlton 14, Sydney Swans 2. 6 minutes left in the first term of that game at the SCG. Your text messages remain welcome, 0467 920 222. The atmosphere building, the pyrotechnics are going off, and they are purple fireworks, Louis, appropriately here at AAMI Park.
Yeah, it's good. They should keep the fireworks going, so it's keeping all the birds away. Did you see before all those seagulls were down there on the pitch?
And this is the only place in Australia, here or the MCG, where the seagulls at some point will all gather, hundreds of them at one end of the ground.
I wonder if they just love their footy.
They must. And cricket. They're very, multi-seasonal. They just love their sport.
So good. But even the crowd there, there must be a lot of young players, family down there for Cooper Clark, I reckon, and they got the big banner about to run out for the Melbourne Storm. I'm so excited. I can't believe round one's already here.
I know.
It was going slow, and I was getting super duper bored. But now it's here. I can't believe. I don't know where the months are gone.
You're like a kid at Christmas.
I know. I'm super pumped. I can't wait for this weekend to sort of see how it's all going to pan out, see if it gives us a little bit of indication on how the season's going to unfold, but it should be good.
Let's go down to you, Hoffy.
Yeah, I've actually, funny you mentioned Cooper Clark, Luke Lewis. I've actually found the Cooper Clark stand. They've got the big heads of Cooper Clark heads. It's a massive head, actually. And they've all got the T-shirts on. So great to see some great support for a young kid on debut.
Now, Hoffy, when we were in Vegas a couple of years ago, you went into Jersey Watch. You were seeing them from everywhere, and we've seen you do that at Magic Round. What about here? It's just purple or bust, isn't it?
It is purple everywhere, and I have to admit that Melbourne Storm brought out a new warm-up shirt that has the old lightning bolts going back to 2002, which is an absolute perler. But there is purple everywhere with just the occasional splattering of blue and gold.
Love it. Melbourne and Parramatta to kick things off in the Australian home and away season, at least here in Melbourne. Crowd, it's nowhere near full at this stage, but there might be 16,000, 17,000 people inside the house. On the text line, lads, super welcome back on with Louis being a Tigers tragic. Looking good for the Tigers this year, hopefully with a big first up win at the 8th Wonder from Cookie in Queensland. Have a great call tonight, Andrew. Love your calls. Thank you, Neil, listening in Kiama on the south coast of New South Wales. So looking forward to your calls and comments this season. Any NRL rule tweaks we should know about this time around? From Phil, listening from Austinmere. Phil, have you got to spare a couple of hours? There are tweaks.
About 60 pages for it.
I was thinking we might go through it through the game, but some of the more notable ones are there are 6 players now named on an interchange bench, but you could still only use 4. So they're all going to have blue vests on, sitting on the touchline. So if you're seeing it at a game on TV, they'll all be in blue vests, and they obviously take the vest off when they're called on to play. The coach can call on any of them, but you can only use 4 of the 6, and you can still only have 8 interchanges in a game. Now, there's still the rule about the 18th man, depending on concussions and all of that. That player doesn't have to be nominated until they're required. So that's something that you will notice. We often talk about what's onside, what's offside from a kick in general play. Both feet must be behind the ball to be onside from a kick. The ball stealing rule, which created so much controversy last Sunday for the Dragons-Bulldogs game, it doesn't have to be a deliberate steal. If you're deliberately whacking at an arm or something like that and the ball comes free, you can be penalised. And there are others that we'll get to along the way, including the change to the... Last year, if you conceded a penalty inside the attacking team's 40, it was a penalty. It wasn't a set restart. That's now been moved to the attacking team's 20-metre line.
Which I don't know if that's going to help a lot of teams, because inside the 40 you want the penalty to kick up to get good field position. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds this year.
And one of the other big ones is the 7-tackle set. Now, if you kick the ball dead, 7-tackle set to the opposition. But if you're going for a kick, for example, as the attacking team, and you lose the ball in goal and knock on, whereas it has been a 7-tackle set to the defending side, that will now still be a 20-metre tap, but only 6 tackles.
I like that.
I think most people in the league like that. So I hope that answers some of your question, Phil. Nice to hear you back, boys, for 2026. Louie and Ryan, your job is to keep Andrew calm and relaxed from Aussie Ron in Auckland. How are you going to go with that?
Although I've kept you pretty calm today, but like the TV's been playing silly buggers in here, and I've kept you calm through that. So I'm doing a good job.
No, I'm very calm as a human, but I think Ron's more concerned about during the call.
Yeah, no, I'll look after you. Only for about 4 weeks and then back to normal.
Okay, I like that idea. As everyone's about to be thunderstruck here at AAMI Park for Melbourne and Parramatta. No changes to either side. So Ryan Hoffman, you're a Melbourne Storm legend. I know you're tipping the Melbourne Storm. Why do they win again for the 24th time in a row tonight?
Yeah, look, the Melbourne Storm, they've just got class across the paddock, and I think having a full pre-season, seeing their number 1 spine working there together, I think they are going to be too strong. But we're certainly not going to see a 50-point scoreline that we saw round 1 last year, what Melbourne put on Parramatta. We're going to see a very strong game with a very, very much improved Parramatta Eels.
All right, there's your tip, Louis. I think you gave it away a bit earlier, but you're doing it nervously tipping Melbourne.
Well, it's a tough one. It's obviously game 1, but history's on the side. I can't go past Craig Bellamy. 23 round 1 wins, going for 24. It's quite mind-blowing. And I love Suafalonga at fullback. I really like him. He's still got Jerome Hughes and Cam Munster in the team who are playing outstanding, and Harry Grant. So I can't tip against Melbourne.
Yeah, hopefully a really good game to get us underway here. Melbourne Storm and the Parramatta Eels. There's so many people, especially outside of Melbourne, thinking they might fall a little this year. Mitch Moses leads out Parramatta, and running through the Eels team, the fullback is the very, very impressive youngster Isaiah Iongi. The wingers Bailey Simonson and Sean Russell. The centres are Will Bensity and Brian Kelly coming over to the Eels from the Gold Coast. 5'8", former Storm player Jonah Pezzett. Halfback Mitchell Moses. The lock Jack DeBellin coming over from the Dragons. Second rowers Kitione Kautonga and Jack Williams. Front rowers are Junior Barlaw and Jermaine Hopgood, with Riley Smith, the hooker, and a bench of Dylan Walker, Sam Tuivati, Matt Dury, Talon De Silva, Kelman Tuolangi and Joash Papali. The coach, Jason Riles. And up goes the Melbourne Storm banner. Melbourne Storm built different. And that's very clever the way they've done that with the spelling of built different. The letters are all over the shop. And speaking of Melbourne Storm and their fans, big shout out to Teresa, who's not only a massive Storm fan and season ticket holder, but a very loyal listener to us here on ABC Sport. And it's good to see you before, Teresa. As the Storm about to take the field, Parramatta Eels are at the northern end of the ground in their predominantly yellow clobber, as Harry Grant leads out the Melbourne Storm for 2026. The fullback, Sui Failongo. The wingers are Will Warbrick and Nick Meaney. The centres, Jack Howarth and Moses Leo. The 5'8", Cameron Munster, and the halfback, Jerome Hughes. The lock, Alec McDonald. The second rowers Ativala Lisati and Joe Chan. Front rowers are Josh King and Stefano Utogamanu. Hooker and captain Harry Grant. And the bench is Tyron Wishart, Cooper Clark, Tui Kamakamitha, Davey Mawali coming over from the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Preston Conn, and Salago Tuamalatu Brown. The coach, of course, Craig Bellamy. The referee is Todd Smith. Tyson Bruff and Drew Ultram are the touch judges, with Chris Butler in the bunker. It will be Parramatta to kick off and get us started here in 2026. Melbourne Storm to get first touch of the footy. And don't forget, right through the evening, your texts remain welcome on 0467 920 222. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Play underway as the kick-off from Sean Russell sails deep to the southern end, taken on the goal line by Cam Munster. He goes right to Josh King, and he returns it almost to the 10-metre line. Taken over the top there by Jermaine Hopgood. 10 out from the Melbourne line, centre field. Now you took Amanu, second year with the Melbourne Storm, and he's caught 15 out from his own goal line by Smith. He plays the ball now, and they work it to the right edge this time, the Melbourne Storm. And Joey Chan takes the tackle. 20 out from his own line, 15 in from the eastern touch line. Played to Grant. He sends the ball left to Munster. Caught 26 out from his own line. Smith was in there.
He's no good here. Tackle 4.
Oh, there's a real worry here for the Melbourne Storm. That player out in his back end, it almost did 9 eyes, Louis.
Yeah, I could see the thing for me was his teammates around him. He signaled as soon as they looked up, he's out. You've got to stop the game. So
I think it's Alec McDonald.
It is Alec McDonald.
Yeah.
He's holding his head. He's moving his arms, which is a good sign. But here he's about to show us now.
Oh, head clash with Jermaine Hopgood. Ryan Hoffman on the touchline as he's hitting the deck.
Yeah, it is Alec McDonald, and there's a head clash. I think we might have seen the end for Alec McDonald. That is nasty, and I think his opposite number, Jermaine Hopgood, might need to have a bit of a check out as well. He's not as bad as what Alec McDonald is, though.
But looking at Alec McDonald's eyes on the replay, Louis, he can't come back no matter what, and he's worried about his shoulder too, isn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. His eyes were gone. He's done for the night. But I would like to see the replay again here, because it was Jack Williams. Was it Jack Williams who was in that? Or was it Jermaine Hopgood that got him? But
it's Hopgood, I believe.
I don't know if it was head. One view just showed there, it looked like he hit his shoulder. So hopefully it doesn't. But he's getting checked for a HIA now as well.
Yeah, I thought head clash initially. We've only had 36 seconds, so we get another replay here. McDonald hits it up, steps past Barlow, head clash with Hopgood.
Looks like his jaw. I reckon he got both there. Head clash and shoulder to the jaw.
So the little medicab is coming out, and Hoffy, I guess this is, you never want to see this in a game, but where this interchange rule may assist coaches, because they can be more specific about their replacement.
Yeah, certainly. The Melbourne Storm, the big boppers through the middle on their bench. You've got Cooper Clark, Tui Kamikamitha, David Moala, and also Preston Conn. So Preston Conn might find himself into the 17th for the Melbourne Storm, as he was that 18th man that was sitting out of those positions.
So a more than capable replacement's about to come on, Tui Kamikamitha. The good news is Alec McDonald is walking from the field with assistance.
So I reckon he's got him with his shoulder on the chin.
Well, he's been called out, Jermaine Hopgood. Let's have a listen.
Okay, direct shoulder contact to the head. On report, you're in the bin. Shoulder to head.
There is a view that shows it, and you can see his shoulder does hit Alex McDonald's chin. That did not surprise me that he does get 10. But that's horrible for Alec McDonald, because he really is struggling to get off the field. Like he still can't really get his feet.
So, drama early on, the first penalty of the game. Therefore goes to the Melbourne Storm, and they find touch 4 metres in Parramatta territory.
Yep, wait for it.
So, Alec McDonald gone for the game as the Melbourne Storm take the tap on that right side, the eastern side of the field, and 38 metres out from the line. Ball played to Grant, comes left away to Utuiga Manu. He's caught in centre field, 34 out from the Parramatta goal line, northern end of the ground. Grant out a dummy half, sends the ball left out to Josh King, and he's caught 25 metres out from the Parramatta line. He'll play the ball. There's no score. I've only just had a little over a minute's play. Comes to the left edge this time to Lasiti. He's wrapped up 15 out by Barlaw. Played to Grant. Goes right to Munster. Then he goes outside again to Kamikamitha, and Tui's tackled. 9 out from the goal line by Williams. So a set restart on the last play given up by Parramatta. As now Jerome Hughes. He's caught 8 metres out from the line, knowing that they have a new set here. Ball's going to be played to Harry Grant. He'll go to the right with a cutout ball. On to Stefano Utoikamanu. Bounced away from one. Then de Bellin comes in to make a heavy hit there with Brian Kelly. And in the end, the ball has come away. 8 metres out from the Parramatta line with the Eels. And they get a penalty. Melbourne too slow on the play the ball. And Parramatta brilliant defence on their goal line. The error was forced, and now the Eels not only come away with the footy, Luke Lewis, but they come away with a penalty as well, 10 out from their own line.
Yeah, good work there by Parramatta. They're nice and fresh. They got up in the face of the Melbourne Storm. They forced that error, and you can see the energy really lift up when they dropped that ball to the Melbourne Storm. So that's good work there by Parramatta. Now they've just got to get through their sets. They've got to complete this with the ball. It's very distracting at the moment.
There's a couple of LA Rams players in front of us. How would you like to tackle that dude on the right, Louis?
That'd be fine, mate. Run straight.
Parramatta. 30 out for their own line. He is enormous. Wow, his legs might even be heavier than yours. 12 short of halfway, Riley Smith goes right to Junior Barlaw, and he's up the middle, tackled just short of halfway by Karma Kamitha. And you play the ball also in there was Munster. Played to Smith. Goes left to nobody. Bounces along the ground. Who's going to pick it up? Parramatta ends up with the football through Kartonga. He's caught on halfway. 15 in from touch eastern side. 2.5 make it 3 minutes gone. No score. Blindside raid now for Parramatta as it comes away to Russell down that left wing. And he's tackled 29 out from the Melbourne line. 9 in from touch eastern side. Played to Riley Smith. The long ball goes right. Mitch Moses the kick from 31 metres out. Going deep into Melbourne territory. Up they go, ball bounces down and it's been knocked on there by Nick Meaney, who we've seen in the setters predominantly over the last couple of years. He's played plenty of fullback, but he never looked comfortable going after that high ball. And Parramatta will get a scrum feed. 10 out from the Melbourne line, 3.5 gone, no score down to the touchline. Hoffy.
Parramatta got tested inside their 20 early on the game and they rejected the Melbourne Storm. Now it's the Melbourne Storm turn to defend their 20-metre zone. Yeah, Nick Meaney, he looked like he was going up for it, then at the last second just pulled out. Big challenge here for the Melbourne Storm against Parramatta.
Okay, around the grounds in the AFL, 14-3 Carlton over the Swans. Have they forgotten to kick goals in the off-season or something? So now the scrum to be fed by Moses. 10 out right in front of the southern post. What a great chance here for the blue and gold. Moses feeds it, wins it. Comes to the left to Pezzett. Then he got the pass away to Iongi. Straight past one, dragged down a metre out from the goal line. Riley Smith at dummy half for Parramatta. He'll go to the right with a deep pass to Pezzett to Moses to Barlaw. Centre field. He's going to be taken 14 metres out from the Melbourne goal line. Still no score. 4 minutes 30 gone. Now Smith. He sends it away left. Mitch Moses gets it on now to Pezzett. Pass went away out the back to Iongi. He links up with Russell. And he dives over to score a pretty simple try. Good quick hands from Parramatta. And the try is finished off by winger Sean Russell, who I'm told trained the absolute house down in the off-season for Parramatta. And the Eels start best. Parramatta 4, Melbourne 0, and we've had not quite 5 minutes of play.
And how often do you see the team who's got one player down come through and score a try? They created so much space over in that left edge, Parramatta. Really good passing, great skill out in front. But this pass here from Iongi is absolutely outstanding. He doesn't have a chance to get the ball in hand, just taps it with his right hand, puts it straight on Sean Russell's chest, comes off his left foot, scores a beautiful try. But put that down to the work on the inside by their number one.
Yeah, they look so convincing there, Hoffy. I nearly forgot they only had 12 men Parramatta.
Yeah, it was a simple numbers game, and Jonah Pezzett digging right into the line. He copped a big whack from Jerome Hughes, but him digging into the line just forced his his outside defenders to have to come in, and great hands by Iongi. Let's not forget, Parramatta have only had 12 players, and Storm have 13. So how they got an overlap there is beyond me.
And now Mitch Moses will line up this conversion attempt, 22, 23 metres out, and about 8 metres in from the eastern touchline. 6 gone, Parramatta 4, Melbourne 0. Crowd of around 20,000 odd here at AAMI Park. Around the grounds, the Matildas have scored. That's early on against Iran to lead 1-0. Amy Sayer getting the goal for the Australians. And Sean Russell gets the try for Parramatta. Mitch Moses to try and convert. One of the elite goal kickers in the game. Looks at the post, back at the footy, step back, now he moves in with his right boot, Mitch Moses, he strikes it, heading towards the post, but it's across the face, well across the face, no goal, but Parramatta opens their account for 2026, leading by 4 points to 0 over the Melbourne Storm, and now Melbourne need to regroup because 13 on 12, Louis, that try came pretty easily against them.
Yeah, but you know what, just looking at that replay again, Mitch Moses, absolutely brilliant, the way that he squared the defensive line up there and created that space out wide was beautiful.
So Falongo will get us back underway with the kickoff from halfway. And they'll be trying to pin Parramatta deep in their own territory. There's the whistle from referee Todd Smith, and Farlongo, it's a shortish kickoff, just goes over the 30-metre line. The kickoff is taken by the try scorer Russell, and he's tackled 22 metres out from his own line on that far side of the field. Plays the ball to Riley Smith, goes right to Kitione Kartonga, tackled 26 out from his own line and 18 in from touch on the eastern side. Smith goes open side right to DeBellin. How weird does that look, seeing Jack DeBellin in the yellow of Parramatta? 15 short of halfway. Played to Smith, goes right to Junior Barlaw. He steps into King and Grant. Great run, Barlaw. Finally stopped just short of halfway. He plays it to Smith. Comes to the right, Moses. Short ball away, Williams. And Jack Williams up over the Melbourne 40. Put to the ground now. About 38 out from the goal line by Lasardi, Munster and King. Last tackle. Short side right to Moses. That pass was forward. It was ill-timed from Riley Smith. And an error from Parramatta when they're right on top, really. 7 gone. Parramatta 4, Melbourne 0. Change over to the Melbourne Storm. Louis, 12 short of halfway.
Yeah, well, Parramatta look really sharp coming out of their own end. They know their role, they know their job, they're doing it at speed. Their leg speed looks great as well. Just that little error there from dummy half there, just to get that pass wrong, but they were building pressure on Melbourne. So I really like the way that they started.
This is Leo, 5 short of halfway, plays it, and the Storm work it left to right, creeping into Parramatta territory as Warbrick plays it. It comes right to Jack Howarth. What a terrific year, apart from a couple of injuries Jack Howarth had in 2025. 40 out from the goal line, played to Grant, goes left to Hughes, turns it into Kamikamitha. Wonderful head-on tackle by DeBellin. 31 out from the Parramatta line. Melbourne with it trailing 4 points to 0 after almost 8 minutes. Hughes goes left to Munster. Short ball away Lasardi. Moses met him first. 22 out from the Parramatta goal line. Also in there was Williams. Last tackle now for Melbourne. Grant, short side left to Munster. Runs at the line and offloads. Bouncing away from one is Leo. Do they know it's the last year Melbourne? I'm not sure they did. Changeover. Leo's tackled 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. 4-0 Eels, 8 gone. Let's check in downstairs. Ryan Hoffman.
It's interesting, the whole attacking set, Sewell was trying to get himself into the game, but so far I don't think he's had a touch. We're 9 minutes into the football game and I haven't seen Farlongo get a touch of the football. He needs to start to imprint himself on this game.
He's kicked off, that's about all.
It was rubbish at that.
Here's Parramatta, 26 out from their own line. Riley Smith, dummy half. Swings it away the left side this time for Parramatta, who opened the scoring tonight with a Sean Russell try. 15 short of halfway. Smith goes left to Kautonga. Prowling on that left edge for Parramatta. He broke free of Utoka Manu. Now fell just short of halfway. Smith goes open side right to DeBellin. And he's going to be caught with the footy. 6 metres in Melbourne territory, bringing up the last for Parramatta. Played to Smith, goes right Moses, the kick from 46 metres out down to the southern end. Farlongo or Mini. Mini goes after it with much more conviction. He takes it on the full and then gets hammered by Will Bensony. 9 metres out from his own goal line. Quickly plays the ball to Munster. Sends it open side right, and the Melbourne Storm now take it. And they have it about 17 out from their own line through Moses Leo. He plays it centre of the field to Grant. Sends it left edge again as Melbourne creep their way up over their 20-metre line, midway through the tackle count. Howard plays it to Grant, goes right to Utoka Manu, up over the 30, and he's standing in the tackle there of Barlaw, 14 short of halfway. Remembering Alan McDonald, the Melbourne lock, left the field as Melbourne gets a set restart here. They're second of the night. McDonald, a hit from Hopgood, deemed to be around the head, direct contact with the shoulder, and Hopgood has another minute left in the sin bin, and also on report, McDonald won't return. Another set restart for Melbourne, their third, and then 9 metres inside Parramatta territory. The ball played by Joey Chan. Comes open side left to Kamikamitha. He's tackled by Barlaw and Smith. About 32 out from the Eels goal line. Comes left now to Hughes. Out the back to Munster. Links up with Farlongo. Then away to Moses Leo. Leo cuts in field. B1 Isaiah Yongi. Great tackle. Save the day. 5 out from the Parramatta line. 5 in from touch in the northwest corner. He plays the ball now to Meany. Comes to the right, Munster. Then away to Grant. Grant links up with Jerome Hughes. Hughes float take. Quadruple cut out pass. Down to the wing and diving over to score is Will Warbrick. What about the pass? My goodness, that was the perennial party trick. Melbourne hit back. What a try. Finished off by Will Warbrick. Parramatta Parramatta 4, Melbourne 4, kick to come Storm. That was a Melbourne Storm classic, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, it was beautiful try there from the Melbourne Storm, but I like what they did. They set up the play to the left. They looked sharp. You had a really nice break there by Moses Leo, who nearly went over. Then a quick play of the ball, and then shifted straight back to the right. Everyone doing their job. Everyone running into the right holes. And then you got Jerome Hughes, who just sees an opportunity out wide. Hits Will Warbrick on the chest, and then it's a foot race to the corner. But that put down, absolutely beautiful to watch. That's Melbourne Storm at their best.
Offie, that's nearly not fair, that pass from Hughes.
Yeah, he's just carrying on his form from the back end of last year, Jerome Hughes. But that was perfect Melbourne Storm Rugby League. They went attack to the left, Suapalonga and Moses Leo nearly got on the outside, and then before Parramatta had a chance to breathe, bang, they attacked the right, and a great pass and great finish. Good try, Melbourne Storm.
I am. A listener asked you, Louis, to keep me calm.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do in honour of that is not declare about 5 tries of the year in the first week. Like last year, I think we did Roosters in Brisbane and we had about 3 tries of the year in the first game. So hold off from that. But I'm not sure we're going to see many better passes all season than that one from Hughes.
You did call one in the Vegas game as well. It was a great try, but you're not going to see a better pass than that. That was outstanding. Hit him at full speed on the chest like that. Yep. Beautiful.
We'll get to your text after kick 2, 0467 920 222. Here's Nick Meaney from the eastern touchline, 25 metres out. He strikes it. He likes it. He's kicked it. What a kick, Nick Meaney. And Melbourne is in front, leading Parramatta 6 points to 4 on the back of 3 set restarts against Parramatta. Melbourne 6, Parramatta 4 on the text line. Let's go Para. That's my team. From Alex the Train Guard. Hello, Alex. Guys, Phil and Naja from Northern Rivers. Can't tell you how good it feels to have the footy season back on, especially with Maury in full form. Makes our day. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Naja. How can the NRL keep on allowing 4 men to fall on 1 man in a tackle if they're really serious of reducing injury risk? This needs to change, reckons Karen. All you guys said that the Roosters would not make the 8. They did, and I won $50 off my boss. How do you rate them this year? From
Top 4. Grand
Tom
final.
Odebo. Yeah, well, you and Gibbsy both think they're going to make a grand final, and it sounds like Matt Elliott thinks that as well. I don't. But, yeah, overwhelming support for the Roosters this year.
So tip against us, they might not make the 8.
That's right. Here's now the kick-off, and the Melbourne Storm has it. 28 out from their own goal line. Karma Kamitha plays it, sends it left to Howard. Good run. Finally caught 28 out from his own goal line, centre field. He plays it now, Stefano Utoikamanu. They're just rolling downfield here, Melbourne, and they're 12 short of halfway. Melbourne 6, Parramatta 4. Eels, by the way, back to 13 men, with Hopgood returning and making a tackle right here on halfway. Plays the ball now, does Utoikamanu. To Grant, goes left Munster, way to Lasardi. A big back row is caught, 9 metres in Eels territory. Bring up the last, 18 in from touch western side. Grant from dummy half. Then he puts in a kick downfield. Yongi's back there for Parramatta. Fields it on the bounce, 10 out from his own line. Beat Munster, but straight into Moses Leo, who makes the tackle with Meaney. 14 out from the Parramatta goal line. He plays the ball now to Bensony. Sends it open side left as Parramatta take it. 18 out from their own line. We've had 13 minutes of play. Melbourne 6, Parramatta 4. Here at AAMI Park is now the Eels up to their own 30 and 10 metres in from the western touchline. Benson tackled there by Utoikamanu. Plays it and it comes left edge to Williams. Got straight through Utoikamanu. Caught here 9 short of halfway after a good run. Played to Riley Smith. Goes left to Hopgood. Plays out the back to Pezzett. He links up with support here and Russell takes the head up and lost the football. And all of a sudden Parramatta looks so great in the opening 10 minutes or so. There's a bit of panic going on there from the Eels, and it'll be a Melbourne Storm scrum feed. 10 metres, making half a metre into Parramatta territory. It's 6-4 in favour of the Melbourne Storm, Luke Lewis.
Isn't it funny just what a try does for you? You know, Parramatta, they score a try, they look really, really sharp, then all of a sudden Melbourne strike back and they start to second-guess themselves. What they were doing at the start in the first 10-15 minutes, they were doing a really good job of just running hard and direct, getting over to an edge and then kicking into a corner. But at the moment, they're trying to make breaks on every play. You can't do that against Melbourne, especially down here at Melbourne Stadium. I know I can't say that.
You can say me, Pat.
Oh, okay, there you go.
What do you think I've been saying for the last
I don't know.
hour and a half? Here's Melbourne on halfway. Dummy half is far longer. He sends the ball right to Lasardi. Centre field taken, 7 metres in Parramatta territory. You're such a big unit, you're such a little scaredy cat. Here's Ruturka Manu. He's straight through one, Stefano. Now stands in the tackle, 32 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Played to Grant, one-handed pick-up. He takes off from dummy half, beats them all. Oh, that's a Harry special. Harry with an 8. He's over Harry Grant. Brilliant. The defence went to sleep, but Harry Grant was wide awake. Melbourne 10, Parramatta 4, kick to come. Harry did it on his own, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, there's nothing better than watching a dummy half run. And when he sees an opportunity, and the best in the business is Harry Grant, when he gets that chance, he takes it with two hands every time. He just sees that the markers aren't square. He picks it up with one hand, turns the corner nicely, uses his speed. And he's in the backfield, hasn't even got a fullback to beat, just dives under the black dot. That was absolutely brilliant vision there from Harry Grant. And I'll tell you, the Melbourne Storm are just getting more confident with every set that goes on in this game.
Tell you what, Hoffy, Harry Grant's got a bit of a record scoring tries first up against Parramatta, including a game winner a couple of years ago.
He certainly knows how to score a try, Harry Grant. I know he's a Queenslander, but he would have enjoyed Sydney heads there because that's what was presented to him straight through the middle. That would be probably the most disappointing thing Jason Ross is going to take out of this game. The fact that a hooker can take a run 30 metres out and score under the post untouched.
Ron, I just think of his form change from Origin 1 last year to the second half of 2025 into obviously the start here. It's phenomenal, the change.
It really is, and I think he struggled when he first got named captain. I think he was trying to do a bit too much, but he's really matured into the role, and he knows he's not overplaying his hand as much as what he used to. But that was a real captain's try, that one.
Mini 10 out right in front, kicks the goal. He's 2 out of 2, and just like that, Melbourne is out to an 8-point lead. Melbourne 12, Parramatta 4 here on Thursday night NRL action. 16 minutes gone at AAMI Park. Now around the grounds, AFL, the Swans have kicked their first goal of the season. Second quarter of the SCG, Carlton 15, leading the Swans 10. And on the back of that Amy Sayer goal, the Matildas leading Iran 1-0 in the Asian Cup. And of course all the coverage on ABC Listen everywhere you want it to be. All the live sport, including the T20 Cricket World Cup going on at the moment. What about that Finn Allen innings last night to steer New Zealand to a 9-wicket victory in the semi-final over South Africa? It was extraordinary. Here's the Melbourne Storm from the kick-off. 12 out from their own line. Karma Kamitha plays it to Grant, sends it left to Howarth, and he's going to be caught 20 metres out from his own goal line. Plays the ball down to Grant. Goes left to King. Louis, it is so palpable watching the difference in Melbourne now compared to that opening 7 or 8 minutes. It's a huge difference.
Massive difference. I think it's just the confidence. Look at this run here by Ruturka Manu. Beautiful. They're just making so many easy meters, but they're hitting the ball over the advantage line.
Here's Munster with the ball. Another set restart. These are killing Parramatta. 4 now to Melbourne as Munster got the ball. It goes right to Hughes. Steps straight through Riley Smith and Moses. Dragged to the ground down 9 metres in Parramatta territory by Barlaw. Plays the ball to Grant. Goes left to Munster. Then away to Lasati. Moses greets him first with Williams. 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Storm on the attack with a 12-4 lead after 17 minutes. Grant goes right. Munster with a footy. Offload straight away to Hughes to Farlongo. He got the pass away to Howard. Howard straight past 1-2. Drag down. 3 metres out and lost the ball. Try saver coming in there from Peasant, and also in there was Russell, and the ball goes free. And Brian Kelly, I should add, was significant in that tackle. Change over here for Parramatta, or will it be a scrum? What tackle was that on? The Eels will get the scrum feed. 10 out from their own line. Nearly 18 gone. Melbourne 12, Parramatta 4. They're lucky it wasn't 16 or 18-4.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking really sharp, Melbourne, especially when Sua Farlongo goes to that right edge, gets the ball, he makes the centre hedge his best. Does he come in or stay out? And I reckon Jack Howarth, he just gets tackled, and as he hits the ground, he just rolls over the ball, gets in that awkward position, and comes up for an error. I think Parramatta were breathing a sigh of relief on that one.
Ballon the Bronco right, so it's all about Harry. How good is he? Great to see. As now Parramatta from the scrum win. Riley Smith sends it open side left, and the tackle's made. 15 out from their line on Simonson. That's better. Amor and ABC footy back, says Grazman. Well, happy for both, Grazman. Thank you. As Parramatta 21 out from their own goal line now, trailing 12-4. They work the ball centre field left this time. And Hopgood stands in the tackle right on the 30-metre line. Courtesy there of Chan and Grant. De Bellin sends it left Peasant away to Kautonga. Great tackle by Hughes. He's there to greet him. Had a couple of others, including Chan, and then got a one-hander away. That was brilliantly done to Iongi. Now dragged to the ground by Carmen Kamitha. 2 metres in Melbourne territory on the last. Moses beats one. Pass away left to right. Barlow, then a forward pass, surely from Williams to Bensony, and it's picked up really well by either referee Todd Smith or the touch judge. Either way, they got it right. And it was an exciting last play there for Parramatta, but it came asunder with a forward pass. 19 minutes gone, Melbourne 12, Parramatta 4. Let's check in on the touchline with the Hoffenator, Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, it's interesting. Parramatta are working to their right side of the field and then attacking the left, which is going to the edge of Jack Howarth and also Will Warbrick. I would have thought they would have liked to really test out Moses Leo and Nick Meaney, a new centre wing pairing to put that pressure on. But I tell you what, geez, I've been impressed with Tui Kamitha and Stefano Utuikamanu. They are creating these 6 against for Melbourne by how hard they're running.
Now Melbourne, Hoffy, 6 metres in Parramatta territory. Ball played to Grant. Goes left to Carmen Kamitha. Left foot step taken by Barlaw. Over the top to Bellin. 34 out from the Parramatta goal line. 3 tackles left. Comes to the right. Hughes. Not a great pass. Dropped by Joey Chan, and the pressure valve released as Parramatta dives on the bouncing ball, courtesy of Brian Kelly. As now the Eels have it through Russell on the next play. He's caught about 15 short of halfway. And Lou, it doesn't take much, does it, for the momentum to shift in modern footy, and maybe that mistake could be a part of it. Here's Simonson for Parramatta, caught 4 short of halfway. Dylan Walker now onto the field for Parramatta after 20 minutes. Here's a juggle from Jack Williams on the right edge. Regathered it into his chest, though, and he's taken 2 metres in Melbourne territory by Grant and Munster. Ball played to Smith, goes left. Barlow away to Walker. Links up now with Pezzett. Quick hands away to Kautonga. He's claimed 36 metres out from the Melbourne goal line. Plays the ball to Smith. Takes off from dummy half to Riley. Goes right to Walker. Not a great pass, but Walker took it cleanly. He's tackled almost immediately. 28 out from the Melbourne line. Centre field, southern end. Comes to Moses on the last. He makes a dash. Goes right to Benson. He got straight past a poor attempt to tackle from Leo. Then he gets the ball away. Simonson back now to Benson, and he's caught a metre out. Failongo came across with 2 others, including Tui Kamitha. Desperate last-ditch defence from the Melbourne Storm. Lasardi was there as well. Change over Melbourne. 21 gone. Melbourne 12, Parramatta 4.
Well, Parramatta should take a lesson out of that set. They look very sharp when they come to this right edge. And I tell you what, Dylan Walker is going to make a massive difference for this Parramatta side's attack. He's got really good ball skills in the middle of the field. He never really gets tackled with the ball, and he promotes it to their edges nicely. So Melbourne have got a big task coming up, especially on the left side.
Moses Leo on the open side right. He's pummeled to the ground on play 3. 14 out from his own line. Plays the ball now to Failongo. He sends the ball open side right. Melbourne with it on their own 20 through Chan. Brown didn't like the tackle and the attention on Will Warbrick in the end. Comes right now to Kamitha. He's caught 30 out from his own goal line. Dummy half is Harry Grant. Spins it open side left to Munster. Centre field, left foot kick over the head of Bailey Simonson. It bounces 18 metres out from the Parramatta line with plenty of backspin. Simonson turns back around, picks it up 15 out from his own line and gains about 10 running into Meany and Lasardi and push back. 24 out from his own line for Parramatta and 10 metres in from touch, western side. 18 minutes left first half, and it's 12-4. Melbourne leading Parramatta. After the Eels led 4-0. Alec McDonald gone for the game. Heavily concussed in the opening 30 seconds. Being struck by the shoulder of Jermaine Hopgood, according to the bunker, and Hopgood on report and in the sin bin. There's now a good run here from Brian Kelly. Beats a couple of tackles, loses the ball, but, well, I thought backwards he must have lost it forward, says the referee into a Melbourne defender. Do we get a challenge here? Mitch Moses races in, and yes, we do. Let's listen to Todd Smith.
Captain challenge for Parramatta on tackles 3. On good rulings and not gone from Parramatta. You've got Melbourne playing in the arm.
What do you think, Eagle Eye Lewis?
Yeah, I think he gets tackled from behind, and then he's trying to offload at the same time. So,
Brian Kelly.
Did the ball go forward?
yeah, I think.
Joe Chan's affecting the tackle. It's a loose. Forward across the ground. Challenge if Hudson turns forward. Where do you want it?
The right call.
So Parramatta loses its challenge. It's gone. Touchline we go. Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, that's an interesting one there. I think the referee got the call right, but it's hard because his body was going forward. The ball did go forwards, but his body went past the ball. Issue for the Melbourne Storm. Coming on for his Melbourne Storm debut is David Moale, who has come in for Tui Kamikamitha. He needs to carry on the work that Kamikamitha's been doing.
Yeah, formerly of the South Sydney Rabbitohs, David Moale. So we'll see how he goes with the Melbourne Storm. And this could be another player, Louis, that's gone from, capable first grader, but who knows what he'll achieve under Bellamy.
I think he's going to be a very good first grader under Craig Bellamy, because he would have gave him a real simple task to do, and he'll get out there and nail it.
Nick Meany's feeding the scrum, and it came straight out the side. And then Harry Grant, who's the hooker, calls for the ball. He's packing in at lock, and Nick Meany will feed the scrum again.
Yeah, but then Mitch Moser got a ball in his hand.
Yeah, well, Mitch has had to hurl it away. Oh, he heard you, Louis. Meany feeds it, wins it. Grant picks it up, goes right to Munster on the open side to Hughes, to Farlongo. Then he links up with Howard to his right, and Jack Howard's tackled. 1 metre short of halfway, 10 metres in from touch on the eastern side. 17 minutes to go in the first half. Melbourne 12 leading Parramatta 4. Hope you're enjoying the action. Opening round action here on ABC Sport. NRL Thursday. Ball played to Grant. Comes centre field left to Moale. He's put down 10 metres in Parramatta territory, northern end of the ground. Ball played to Grant. Goes left to Utugamanu. On the charge to Fano. Dragged down 29 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. He'll play the ball to Grant. Spins it away right to Munster. Then away to Hughes. Links up with Farlongo. 20 out. Then on to Jack Howarth. But he's caught in a smothering Brian Kelly tackle in the northeastern corner. 11 out from the goal line. Played to Farlongo. Goes left to Hughes on the last, puts up a kick back to the corner, up they fly. The ball is caught out there by Will Warbrick, but he's surrounded by Russell Leongi and one other. Changeover a metre out from the Parramatta line, so the Eels do well to hold on there. 24 minutes gone, and it's 12-4 in favour of the Melbourne Storm. On the text line, 0467 920 222. I wonder if Louis' calm presence in 2026 will be extended to Gibbsy on Sunday afternoons, asked Neil.
Strong.
That's a great question.
Definitely this Sunday.
Because he's not here. The Matildas have scored again through Mary Fowler. Great to see her back in action. The Matildas 2 lead around 0 in the Asian Cup. And in the AFL second quarter SCG, Carlton 21 leading Sydney Swans 18. As a penalty goes here to the Parramatta Eels, only a few metres out from their own line. 2-1 the penalties in favour of Parramatta as they find touch 25 metres out from their own goal line. So the tap taken, and it's Tioni Kautonga who's tackled, 33 out from his own goal line for the Eels. Ball played to Riley Smith. He sends it right to Jermaine Hopgood. Playing in the middle, he can also be a terrific offloader of the footy, Hopgood, but here he's rounded up by King. 9 short of halfway. Now Walker, short ball right to Junior Barlaw. Munster's in over the top. Oh, he tried a ill-advised pass, Barlaw. It spews out. Picked up by Cameron Munster. He goes right to Joey Chan, and he's upended heavily by Kautonga. 2 metres in Parramatta territory. Bad play there by Junior Barlaw. Played to Munster. Short side right. It goes from Hughes to Farlongo. Is that a high shot from Brian Kelly? It is. Almost leapt in the air to make that tackle. Penalty goes to the Melbourne Storm. 38 metres out from the Parramatta line and 7 in from touch on the eastern side, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole heap in it. It's enough to be a penalty, so I'm happy with that call there. But that play there from Junior Barlow, that was a pretty crazy play, trying to push that tackle out the back. I mean, that pass out the back. Melbourne Storm were flying onto that ball. I want to just see Sua Farlongo, when he gets the ball at the back, actually take on Jonah Pezzett. You can see he's starting to freak out when he's in front of him. So I reckon he can beat him one-on-one.
Melbourne take the tap here, and it comes away now in play 2. Utugamanu running an inside lane off Hughes. Stands in the tackle, 19 out from the Parramatta line. Centre field in front of the Billy Slater stand. Plays the ball to Grant. Goes left Hughes. Links up with support. And Josh King's tackled. 11 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Dummy half now is Grant. Goes right to Munster. Plays out the back to a running Hughes. Got a short pass away. And being tackled is Chan about 5 metres out. Plays the ball to Grant. They go to the right edge to Howard. Takes on Kelly and gets over to score. Too simple. Jack Howard, great strength. And Melbourne extends the lead. Looking for win number 24 in a row in round 1. What the? It can't keep going. It's nearly quarter of a century, Louis, and it's now in favour of Melbourne, 16-4, the kick to come.
Well, there's still plenty of time left on the clock for Parramatta, but it is looking really promising for the Melbourne Storm at the moment. When they get a little bit of field position, they're looking dangerous all over the park. This is just a really simple play down the right edge. Good vision there from Jerome Hughes. Jumps into dummy half, just gets the ball out nice and early there to Howarth, and he just goes one-on-one up against Kelly and just too strong and scores a simple try. That's just brilliant work. Great vision there from Jerome Hughes.
How'd you see it, Ron Hoffman?
Yeah, nice quick play, the ball close to the line by, I was about to say Alex Chan, but it's his young bloke, Joe Chan. He scored down up close to the line. You've got to get a quick play of the ball, and then you've got Jack Howarth, too big, too strong on the edge. Easy try for Melbourne. Parramatta, they're their own worst enemy. All they've done is invite Melbourne Storm down into their territory. They've got 10 minutes before half-time. They need to work that out.
16-4 in favour of Melbourne. 27 minutes gone here in the first half after Parramatta led 4-0. And now Nick Meaney, 22 out, 4 in from touch on the eastern side. 2 out of 2 already to start the season for Nick Meaney. Playing on the left wing tonight for Melbourne. Step back. Exaggerated step forward. Now he moves in. Meaney, he strikes it, likes it, kicks it again. He's 3 out of 3. And it's the Melbourne Storm 18, the Parramatta Eels 4, with 12 minutes to go in the first half. Louis, this just seems like any other year.
Yeah, rinse and repeat for the Melbourne Storm. They start off a little bit scratchy, got a bit nervous, but as soon as they got that first try, it's been all downhill for Parramatta.
Boy, oh boy. Another goal to the Australian women's football team. The Matildas now leading Iran 3-0 in the first half. Alana Kennedy, the third goal scorer for the Matildas. And another goal for Carlton in the AFL. Thank you, Michael Carrianis, for texting me. Carlton 27, Sydney Swans 18. Now the kickoff taken just down from the goal line by Jerome Hughes. He gives it left to Davey Moali. He's taken by Walker and Barlaw, 14 metres out from the Melbourne line. Neville says, simple advice for wingers, stay on your wing. So great to hear you, Andrew. Have a good season calling the league from Chrissy in Hobart. Chrissy, lovely to hear from you. Hope you're well. As Harry Grant sends it left to Josh King. Taken 31 metres out from the Melbourne line by Barlaw. Played to Grant. He goes left away now to Lasati. And he's going to be taken about 8 metres short of halfway and 15 in from the western touchline. And there to greet him for the Parramatta Eels was Moses. Now Grant out of dummy half. Dummy left goes right to Munster to Utoikamanu centre field. And he bounces into the defence, taken by Walker, Hopgood and one other, Kautonga. A metre in Eels half. Last tackle Melbourne. Goes right to Hughes under pressure from Smith, but then evaded him and accelerates. Little tip and chase from Jerome Hughes. Look out, picked up by Youngie. Over the 40. Pass by Longo, drag to the ground 4 metres in Melbourne territory. A great chase from Davey Moali. Ball played to Smith. Comes to the right. A floating ball from Peasant to Moses. Cut out pass finds Bensony on the right wing. Straight past Meaney like he didn't exist. Over the 20. Step through Barlongo. And now Moses Lee, among others, gets there. Bensony tried to ground it in heavy traffic. And it went straight out of his mitts. No try. Poor defence, then great defence, and Will Bensony couldn't help himself. It ends up over the touchline, and Melbourne will have a play the ball in their own 10. 11 left first half. Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4.
Well, that was brilliant work, first of all, from Youngie in the backfield. Just gets that ball at full speed. It reminded me of Nathan Blacklock when he just pelted through that space. But
the winger from Tinga.
Yeah, that's the one. And then a beautiful little shift out to that right edge, and you got it to the right man there in Will Bensony. He's very strong. He's got great fend. He just couldn't help himself but put his hand out. They still had another 3 or 4 tackles, but good work there from the Melbourne Storm to scramble and stop that defence.
So now Melbourne, 25 out from their own line. We'll check in with Hoffy shortly. 2 great State of Origin and Test second rowers, a premiership winning second rowers. They love second rowers, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman, here on ABC Sport for another year. Here's Melbourne, 32 out from their own line. Grant dummy half. Goes left to Josh King, taken 10 metres short of halfway. 20 metres in from touch, western side. Played to Grant. Goes short side left. No, he comes back to the right with a big dummy to Hughes. And he's caught a metre in Parramatta territory. Ball played to Grant. Goes left to Munster. The kick from 47 metres out. Towering kick down to Iongi. He takes it 10 metres out from his own goal line and returns it short of the 20. He'll play at 9 minutes 30 to go. 18-4 to the Melbourne Storm. Let's check in with Ryan Hoffman downstairs as Junior Barlaw gets replaced for the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah, it looks like Iongi's down there hurt with a bit of an injury following that challenge there by Utoi Kamano. Look, for the Melbourne Storm, that was a real shot across the bow from Parramatta. They probably should have scored there. It was only some really strong covering tackles that came across the field to stop them, and they completed their set. There's 10 minutes to go in this half. I really want to see Dylan Walker start to stamp himself down on the field. He can do a great job there, being that ball playing lock, and that can trouble the Melbourne Storm defence, just pushing their attack that little bit wider.
Iongi's to his feet. Louis, it's been very interesting. I have no idea who these two LA Rams players are, I've got to be honest, but I'm looking at their reaction to various things that happen in the game, and there are so many oohs and ahs.
Well, mate, you imagine how they're used to a 7-second sort of power game speed, and they've got all the protection on. I was thinking the same thing. If I was sitting there playing that sport, watching these blokes carry to each other 100 miles an hour, I'd love to know what they're thinking.
So Isaiah Iongi will now be sent for an HIA. Mitchell Moses blowing up about, as is his want about most decisions, but Iongi will be assisted from the field.
The HIA is a different process. Okay, they've asked me that he's got to go off. You'll play no tackle too.
That's not a new process. So Iongi will go off. He does look okay, doesn't he? He's coming from the field. But it was in the tackle of Utoi Kamano. So who's Parramatta going to put on the field here? Because Talon De Silva had dummy half and Matt Dury have come on the field for Riley Smith and Junior Barlaw.
You know what's funny? That hit didn't look as big as the one on Kalaponga last week, and he didn't go off a HIA check. But I know what he's saying.
I'm not going to question doctors.
No, well,
I'm not that good.
That's true.
Here's Parramatta with the taking it up over the 30 through Matt Dury with his first touch. I'm not Matt Elliott. He scored 32 metres out from his own line. Set restart too slow on the play. The ball, it goes this time to Parramatta. So Joash Papali has come onto the field for Isaiah Iongi. And talk about exciting, he is that. Parramatta 2 metres in Melbourne's half. Out of dummy half goes Talon De Silva. He's looking for an offside against Hughes, but he was deemed square at marker. He'll play at 9 metres in Melbourne territory. Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4. 8 minutes 30 left in the first half as now the Eels go up the middle. Within 35 metres of the Melbourne goal line. It's played to De Silva. Short ball left to Dylan Walker. Walker got a pass away. Now they keep it alive back to Talon De Silva. And the former West Tigers tackle 21 metres out from the Melbourne goal line by Mawali. Plays the ball. They work it to the right side. Moses away. A dusty pass from Papali. Scooped up by Simonson. Back to Papali it goes. And he's wrapped up ball and all by Chan and Munster. 20 metres out from the Melbourne line. Last tackle Parramatta. Benson dummy half. Goes left to Moses. Puts up the kick. Farlonga leaps in the air and comes down with it and gets absolutely smashed by Kautonga. But will play a metre out from his own goal line to Hughes. He dummies goes himself and he's caught 8 out from his own line. 8 left first half. Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4 downstairs. Ryan Hoffman.
That's the first time Sua Farlonga has been tested with the high ball, and he come up trumps, went up very confidently. As we see a close one there. Just a quick update on Iongi. He's been classed as a Cat 2, so if he passes his test, he'll be good to come back.
All right, so that's good news for Isaiah Iongi and Parramatta supporters as Melbourne 27 out from their own goal line. King plays it. Comes left on the last of Munster. End-over-end kick. Simonson takes it on the full. 30 out from his own line. Steps over the 40, and he's going to be taken 2 metres short of halfway. Good return by Bailey Simonson. And you do get the feeling against Melbourne particularly that Parramatta do need points before half-time to go in the sheds, feeling like they're still well and truly in this game.
Yeah, they definitely do. But I tell you what, that was their best defensive set. They limited the metres. They got really good catch on that ball. They got up over halfway. So this is a good set for them here.
Here's Kelly, tackled 36 out from the Melbourne line. Played 2 to Silva. Goes right, Hopgood to Walker. Then quick hands to Moses. Links up with Papali'i to Bensoni. And he's caught by Leo and Mini. 15 or 16 out for the Melbourne line. 8 in from the western touchline. Ball played to Papali. Goes left to Moses to Walker to Hopgood centre field. Dragged down 8 metres out. Last tackle, Parramatta centre of the park. De Silva goes right to Walker. Walker dummy. Spews it out the back. Picked up by Talon De Silva, and he's caught a metre out from the goal line. Change over again. Melbourne holds on. 6 minutes 20 left in the half. Storm 18, Parramatta 4.
Take a step back.
Here on Thursday night NRL on ABC Sports. So they've been challenged a few times in the last, 7 or 8 minutes, Melbourne. And yet they've kept the score against them to 4 points. As Melbourne on its own 10, Munster goes right. And it went to the right to Mini, who scored 16 out from his own goal line. Plays the ball to Grant. Right to Will Warbricken off the wing, and in centre field, he's knocked to the deck. 22 metres out from his own goal line. Played to Grant. Sends it right to Mawali. Caught by Kautonga. 30 metres out from the Melbourne Storm goal line. Melbourne with it. It comes left. Suafalonga. Caught 12 metres short of halfway. Ball played. Grant goes left Munster, 8 short of halfway, left foot kick. It bounces down to Joash Papali, 10 metres out from his own line, heads up over the 20, takes on the defence of Leo and Lasati, and he stands in the tackle, 29 out from the Parramatta line, 5 minutes 30 left first half, too slow to release in the tackle, set restart here for Parramatta, who now take it over their 30. Another goal, by the way, for the Matildas in the Asian Cup. Sam Kerr has scored. So a couple of, or few out-and-out stars have found the back of the net for the Matildas tonight. 4-0 they lead Iran, who might have a few other things on their mind tonight. Here's Sean Russell, tackled 2 metres short of halfway. I don't know how they're getting through camp and playing games with everything that's happening at home for them as Moses goes right. And Will Benson, quick hands, not good hands, but quick hands away to Simonson, who dived for the footy. But it's a penalty for the tackle on Moses, who's down writhing in pain now, Louis.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't think it is Mitch Moses. I can see the face just.
It's got a knee injury.
Yeah, you just don't see the tackle.
He's tattooed up. It's not Mitch Moses.
Your penalty here.
It looks like Matt Dury. He might be struggling down there.
And they're doing a bit of a knee check as well at the moment. I didn't get to see the late tackle either, so let the advantage play.
Yeah, we've had no replay. Here we go, Louis. It's coming up now.
Okay. Righto, we're going to go, Mitchell. Time on.
Yeah, it's Dury, hit by Chan.
Knee on knee it was.
Let's go downstairs. Hoffy.
Yeah, there's not much in that. You're right, Louis. It was a knee clash there, and they can be painful as all hell, I tell you.
Back it up!
Here's Parramatta finding touch. 30, make it 25 metres out from the Melbourne line. Tap taken by Moses, goes left through hands. Away now to Hopgood. He's running off to Silva, tackled 18 out from the goal line. He'll play 20 in from the western touch line, 2 to Silva. Goes left to Peasant, flat pass away Kautonga. Caught 12 out from the Melbourne line. Storm holding on to an 18 points to 4 lead. Now to Silva, goes right to Peasant. Plays out the back to Moses, beat one tackle. Now caught 8 metres out from the goal line. He'll play it, and a set restart given away by Melbourne. Too slow, that's 3 in a row they've conceded. As Peasant turns the ball back on the inside. Taking the tackle, Dury. 11 out from the goal line. Now dummy half is De Silva. Goes left to Peasant. Short ball, Kautonga. Got through Hughes, but finished off by King. Great cover defence, Josh King. 4 metres out from the goal line. And he lost it in the play of the ball. Kitiani Kautonga, the error comes, and Melbourne will get the scrum feed. 10 metres out from their own goal line. 3 minutes 47 left in the first half. And it's 18-4 Melbourne. I look down and see your arm in the air. Hoppy, what's doing?
Yeah, exciting moment for a young man, Cooper Clark, about to come on and get his first taste of first grade with 3 minutes to go. I tell you what, Melbourne Storm's defence, after looking very shaky in that first set where Parramatta scored, has looked tremendous on their goal line. They're scrambling hard and putting a lot of pressure on the Parramatta Eels.
Now, I'm sure I'm going to call him Cooper Cronk at some stage. But Cooper Clark, Hoffy, his father played for West, didn't he, back in the day, Leo?
Yeah, Leo Clark played for West a long time ago before they became the West Tigers. So, it's great to see another second-generation NRL player.
He is a big dude too, and there's the roar as he comes on, and all his Melbourne teammates who are not playing in the New South Wales Cup team, they are so excited for Cooper. Here's a penalty now going to Parramatta. And the penalty's now 4-2 to the Eels. They've got all the ball of momentum here late in the half. There's a bit of a contra top out there at the moment with a modern-day Melly Louie. Push, shove, hold on to Jersey, but the penalty had already gone to Parramatta about 20 out for the Melbourne line.
Yeah, just trying to see what the push and that was silly by Talon De Silva. He sort of threw the little hip into one of the Melbourne players, and that's why it started. But
Melbourne had lost the ball, and from the next play after the push and shove, Melbourne penalised for the markers being offside. So Harry Grant penalised. He was the first of the pushers. The penalty to Parra, 21 out, 20 in from touch eastern side, down by 14.
I'd hate to be a coach. You've got 2 minutes to go, and you're giving away silly penalties.
Well, I can't see Craig Bellamy from here, but you reckon he would have handled that calmly?
No.
20 metres out now. The ball's going to be played by Dury to De Silva. Goes right to left as Parramatta take it within 14 metres of the Melbourne goal line. Great chance again here for Parramatta. 2 minutes left in the half. De Silva goes right to Peasant. Floats the ball away to Mitch Moses. Short ball to Benson. Even the cover comes. Moses Leo, good tackle. 8 metres out from the Melbourne line. 8 metres in from touch in the southwest corner. The ball played now to Papali. He goes left to Moses to Walker. Links up out the back to De Silva. Then to a juggling Peasant. The ball goes forward to Carton, and Parramatta made a mess of it. And it's Jonah Peasant with a mistake. And the Melbourne crowd just reminding him that you're not with us anymore, young man. And it'll be a Parramatta scrum feed. 12 out from their own line. The Melbourne Storm with the scrum feed. A minute 17 left on the ticking clock. 18-4 the Storm lead.
Yeah, good work there by Joe Chan. He comes up, he puts pressure on Jonah Peasant, and he loves that tackle too because he forces the error, gets up and gives him a gobful.
He is screaming at Peasant.
Would have been great teammates last year.
He might need some Panadol after that, down to the touchline offie.
Yeah, that's a great play by Joe Chan. They're the type of players that Eli Katoa had just made his own. That inside pressure, making the half play before, but if he doesn't pass the ball, you absolutely snot him, and that's what Joe Chan did there.
Now, we know as Melbourne wins the scrum, we know, Hoffy, that Eli Katoa is out for the year. How's he doing that?
He's doing really well. He's training with the boys in a controlled manner, but he's also helping out coaching and giving some advice to the plethora of young players the Melbourne Storm have. So he really is working hard off the field.
Apparently, SG Bull team very, very good, well coached. Here's Melbourne with the footy up over the 20 they go through Munster. And yes, Mr. Hoffman is part of that SG Bull team. Unbeaten through 4 rounds. As now comes away to the right edge. The Melbourne Storm with the ball. And there's Cooper Clark. Nearly lost his strides in the tackle. Now 32 out from his own line. Plays the ball to Grant. Cut out ball to Munster away to Lasati. He's put on his back. 5 short of halfway. Last tackle. It's in fact will be the last tackle of the half. Grant short side left to Munster. Puts a stab kick over the touchline. That's enough for Melbourne. And they'll go into half time with a pretty handy lead. Melbourne 18 leading Parramatta 4. And I reckon though Craig Bellamy will be unhappy, Louis, with the indiscretions, 3 straight set restarts against them and a penalty, but they held them out, and that is like Melbourne Storm at its best. They choke it at him.
Absolutely. I think he'd be disappointed that they gave the penalties away, but he'd be super happy that they held Parramatta out when they're on their line. They were out on their feet. They had to keep turning up for each other, and they kept forcing errors. So Parramatta had their opportunity and their chance to get some points before half time, just couldn't get across the line. I like the way that Melbourne are playing at the moment. You're 100% right. They're just strangling the other side. They're waiting for their opportunities, and they're waiting for that momentum. They had a couple of opportunities with their momentum. They took their moments and scored some great tries. They'll get a few more in the second half. They're going to be hard to beat. I can't see Parramatta coming back in the second half.
Now for Melbourne, 3 tries scored to Will Warbrick in the 11th minute. Harry Grant, great individual effort in the 15th. And Jack Howarth in the 27th minute. Nick Meaney 3 from 3, including a couple from out wide. 4 restarts for Melbourne. For Parramatta, they opened the scoring, the Eels, in the 5th minute with a try on that left wing to Sean Russell. Mitch Moses missed with a conversion attempt, none from 1. Jermaine Hopgood in the 1st minute was sin-binned and placed on report for what was deemed shoulder to the head of Alec McDonald, who left the field not to return because of a Category 1 HIA. 1 unsuccessful challenge for Parramatta, so it's burnt for the game, and 3 restarts for Parramatta. The penalties are 4-2 in favour of the Eels, but at half-time, Melbourne 18 lead Parramatta 4. What did you make of it all, Ryan Hoffman, on the touchline?
Yeah, look, for Parramatta, there was some opportunities. It was great for them that they scored off their first opportunity, but Melbourne Storm showed their class by just peppering with it and not getting bored with it. And that's the leads that Parramatta can take out of Melbourne's ball. Just don't get bored with what they're doing. They're attacking they're getting themselves in position to be able to attack the Melbourne Storm line. They just need to persevere, because if they try to do things too much or try to force a try, it's not going to come. Just be persevering with it, and they can put more pressure on the Melbourne Storm.
All right, Hoffy, have a breather, mate. Around the grounds in the AFL, it's now half-time. Low-scoring affair at the SCG. Carlton 28, leading the Sydney Swans 18. And the goal was taken off Sam Kerr, so it's back to being 3-0 Matildas over Iran at the Asian Cup. 3-0. Mary Fowler scoring the second one there, and Alana Kennedy, not Alana King, the Australian leg spinner, Kennedy scoring the second goal, or the third goal she scored, Mary Fowler the second, and they've had 2 disallowed. So Matilda's 3, Iran 0. That is now at half-time. So we'll keep you up to date with all of that on the text line, 0467 920 222. Peter at Oran Park says, Andrew, welcome back. Good to hear Luke and Ryan. Great things are back to normal. Good on you, Peter. As we say in Norway, fantastic to have Maury back and footy on from Vin at United. Thank you, Vin. How good to have the footy back. Great to have you back, Maury. Hope you're in good health, says Phil. Yes, very much so. Welcome back, Andrew. Very glad you made a full recovery. Go Para, had a good pre-season. Never a good thing when there's politics like there is with Lomax. Let's aim for top 8 this year. Love your work, fellas. Good on you. Thank you for that text on 0467 920 222. And Mick says, G'day team, from a diehard Eels fan on holidays, listening from Bruny Island, Tasmania. Come on the Eels in 2026. Oh, they're off to a rough start here, down 18-4 at half-time, but still half a game to go. You're with Luke Lewis, Ryan Hoffman. I'm Andrew Moore on ABC Sport. Thursday night NRL action, and at half-time it's 18-4 Melbourne leading Parramatta. Earlier in the New South Wales Cup, Parramatta 36 defeated Melbourne 22. Second half to come, but right now, let's head to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News, good evening. I'm Noni Edwards. Sri Lanka says a second Iranian naval vessel has been detected near the capital of Colombo after a US submarine sank an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean yesterday. South Asia correspondent Meghna Bali reports.
A Sri Lankan minister confirmed in Parliament that there's another Iranian ship near the capital Colombo and just outside the country's territorial waters. He was responding to questions from opposition lawmakers who asked whether authorities were aware of the vessel and how it was being handled. The minister says Sri Lanka was providing what he called maximum possible intervention to protect lives involved in the unfolding situation. The update comes after a US submarine torpedoed an Iranian frigate south of Sri Lanka, killing dozens of sailors and triggering a major rescue operation at sea. Meghna Bali, ABC News.
Qatar has begun evacuating residents who live near the capital's US embassy after Iranian strikes hit the Gulf country. Bridget Rollison reports from Jerusalem.
As the US and Israel intensify their strikes on Iran's capital of Tehran, Iran continued to hit back, firing missiles at Jerusalem and the Gulf. Qatar has been evacuating residents near US embassies in its capital, Doha. The US military has hit an Iranian warship near Sri Lanka, killing 87 Iranian soldiers. NATO has now been dragged into the war after it shot down a ballistic missile that Iran fired towards airspace in Turkey.
Meanwhile, Iran's armed forces have denied firing any missiles at Turkey, saying they respect the country's sovereignty. That's despite Turkey's defense ministry saying a ballistic missile fired from Iran towards Turkish airspace was destroyed by NATO defense systems over the eastern Mediterranean after passing Syria and Iraq. Anthony Albanese and Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney have both called for de-escalation in the conflict in the Middle East, but argued there is more to be achieved before a ceasefire. Here's Defence correspondent Tom Lowry.
The two leaders spoke together after Mr Carney's address to the Australian Parliament, taking questions on the conflict in Iran. Both Mr Carney and Mr Albanese said the next step needs to be a de-escalation.
Before there can be a ceasefire, there needs to be a de-escalation of hostilities. Right now we have a spreading of hostilities.
The world wants to see a de-escalation and wants to see Iran cease to spread the destinations of its attacks.
Mark Carney used his address to urge the creation of new alliances between middle powers like Australia and Canada, in response to what he says is the ongoing breakdown of the global rules-based order.
About 100 Iranian Australians have rallied in front of Perth's US consulate building to thank American and Israeli troops. Rally member Owen Ismaili says he hopes the action will lead to the end of the regime.
Having something out of the extremists. We want to have a very friendship and good relationship with all around the world, including our neighbors, Arab and Israeli peoples, without any issues with any of those countries.
The WA Premier has reassured drivers the state has sufficient fuel supplies to cope with the escalation of the conflict in the Middle East. Roger Cook says fuel retailers are on notice to do the right thing by motorists.
So we just need to everyone be a bit calm, don't panic, and of course, to the fuel outlets, the retailers, the wholesalers, do not take advantage of the concern and anxiety in our community by putting up your prices.
In Far North Queensland, the 99-year-old founder of a former training camp for at-risk youth has been convicted of child sex offences. Christopher Tester reports.
Jeffrey John Guest pleaded not guilty to 6 charges of child sex abuse, which date back to an 18-month period in the mid-1970s. Today, a jury at the District Court in Cairns returned majority guilty verdicts on all 6 charges after a week-long trial. The court heard the victim, now in his 60s, was a teenager when Guest sexually abused him. Guest gave evidence denying any abuse occurred. The victim first revealed what happened in 2009 after seeing a television program about Guest's work with young people at Petford Training Farm. Guest has been remanded in custody ahead of a sentencing hearing tomorrow.
To sport, and Sydney Roosters coach Trent Robinson says the leadership skills of Daly Cherry Evans will be a valuable asset for his NRL club this season. The former Queensland and Manly captain will play his first official game for the Roosters when they meet the New Zealand Warriors in Auckland tomorrow. James Tedesco remains the Roosters captain, but Robinson says Cherry Evans will provide support. And you're now up to date with the very latest ABC News. For more news, head to ABC Listen.
12 teams, 3 cities, 1 dream.
Great touch on edge of the box, right foot strike, it scores! Unbelievable!
ABC Listen, your home of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
Dribbles to the edge of the area, strikes! Oh, it's in! What a wonderful goal!
One match live every day. Every Matildas game, every final. On ABC Listen. Just look for the green and gold Asian Cup button.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
Mitch Moses gets it on now to Peasant. Pass went away out the back to Iongi. He links up with Russell, and he dives over to score a pretty simple try. Good quick hands from Parramatta, and the try is finished off by winger Sean Russell. Grant links up with Jerome Hughes. Hughes float take, quadruple cut out pass down to the wing and diving over to score is Will Warbrick. What about the pass? My goodness, that was the perennial party trick. Played the Grant one-handed pickup. He takes it from dummy half, beats them all. Oh, that's a Harry special. Harry with an 8. He's over Harry Grant. Brilliant. The defence went to sleep. Plays the ball to Grant. They go to the right edge to Howard. Takes on Kelly and gets over to score. Too simple. Jack Howard, great strength. And Melbourne extends the lead. Looking for win number 24 in a row in round 1. What the? It can't keep going.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Yes, the Melbourne Storm on track for a 24th straight round 1 win for Craig Bellamy. Leading Parramatta by 18 points to 4. And as we heard in the highlights package there, 3 tries to 1 so far in the first half. Your text messages are welcome right through until 10:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time this evening on 0467 920 222. Along with your texts are certainly welcome on that. And then through the course of the weekend, we'll be able to hear from you and take some calls on Saturday and Sunday with some longer pre-game shows. Tomorrow we're on there from 5:30 on ABC Listen. And that green button, remember, on the app, ABC Sport button, all the pre-game shows, the games and the NRL Monday. Then at 6 o'clock, we'll be on calling the Warriors Sydney Roosters, myself, Louis and Michael Carianis in the boardroom. That game out of Auckland. And I know, Louis, without wanting to tread all over the tread all over the preview tomorrow night. You're really high on the Roosters this year.
Yeah, I've got big expectations of them. They obviously got to stay injury-free, but either way, I like the way that Teddy played last year. I think he's in for another massive year. Sam Walker's going to learn so much off Daly Cherry Evans. Mark Nwanganita-Waze, again, he had a brilliant year last year. I think another big pre-season for him. I was with Billy Smith during the week, got to have a chat to him. He's looking in great shape as well. They just look like they're ready to rock and roll. But there's still a lot of things got to fall into place. But if you look at their side and what they've got on paper, if they all play their best football, they're going to be hard to beat.
Then at 8 o'clock, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, 7 o'clock Queensland time, the Brisbane Broncos take on the Penrith Panthers. What a mighty heavyweight clash that will be. Nathan Cleary will be there for Penrith after successfully getting a downgrade of that high tackle charge from the pre-season game. Adam Reynolds begins his final year and Brisbane begins its premiership defence. You'll hear that with Quentin Hull, Billy Moore and Zane Bojack. Then on Saturday, we're off to Shark Park and on air from 2 o'clock local time, myself, Michael and Louis. And at 5:30, we'll call Cronulla Sutherland against the Gold Coast Titans. And then 7:30, big game at Brookvale. Glenn Lauder to lead the call with Ruan Sims and Dean Hallertau, Manny Warringah and Jamal Fogarty against the Canberra Raiders. Then on Sunday, we'll be doing a 4-hour show from the boardroom, a pre-game show. Myself, Louis, Michael Carianis and Connor Watson, who's back doing some work with us for another year. It'll be great to see the Sydney Roosters star. Well,
I said, wow.
But say it properly.
My button wasn't on. I did say it properly the first time.
Say it properly.
Wow.
That's better.
Love you, Connor.
So Connor will be joining us on Sunday between midday and 4, and then over to Quentin Hull and the team for the Dolphins against South Sydney Rabbitohs at Lang Park in Brisbane. So goals galore to start this third quarter in the AFL. Carlton has kicked a couple and the Swannies 1. Carlton 40, leading the Sydney Swans 24. 40 points to 24 in the AFL third quarter at the SCG. Again, we're with you right through until 10:30 tonight. Later, after midnight, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, you'll be able to hear that second T20 Men's World Cup semi-final between India and England, with the winner to take on New Zealand in the final. And every ball, of course, on ABC Listen. As Parramatta take to the field for this second half. Lou, what do they need to do to just stay in the hunt here against Melbourne?
Well, they've got to start fast. They've got to score early, and I don't think they can allow Melbourne to score another try before they do. So
no pressure, but score, be on top, and defend your goal line.
Correct. Got everything.
See, this is why you should be a coach one day.
Very easy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you call
Get the ball from there to there.
Yeah.
Don't make any errors.
Put it down over that white thing and kick it between the sticks.
Correct.
So Melbourne come back, led by Harry Grant. Already his impact on the game, Louis, significant with that wonderful try.
His passing game, he's looking sharp out of dummy half, but that try, that was absolutely brilliant. But I feel like they're all doing a really good job at the moment. I would like to see Suafar-Longo just take the line a little bit more of his running game.
Well, Ryan Hoffman's down on the touchline. Hoffy, what are you expecting here early on in the second half?
Yeah, just going on Louis' point about Suafar-Longo, I'd love to see him out the backup plays, be a bit more direct. You're right, he's just going sideline. Look, for the Parramatta Eels, they just got to be more disciplined. They've got to be disciplined with the ball and without the ball. They gave the Melbourne Storm too many 6-agains and also gave them too many opportunities by poor carries. Just a quick update on Alec McDonald, who had that very heavy head knock at the start of the game. He's all good. He's in the sheds. No need to go to hospital. But obviously he won't be returning this game.
Yeah, good to know. Thanks, Hoffy. Right on time for Todd Smith to blow the whistle, and Fa'alongo sends the kick off about 40 metres, taken 10 metres out from the Parramatta goal line, and they return it up to the 20-metre line through Will Benson in. About 12 metres in from touch on the eastern side. Parramatta running right to left as you look at your radio, defending the southern end of AAMI Park. So now Parramatta just onside their 30-metre line. Cooper Clark made the tackle. They work it left to right through Walker, away to Hopgood. Good covering defence, brings him down 4 metres out from the Melbourne goal line, of the halfway line, I should say. And now Walker on the charge, runs into King, fighting for every millimetre. Dylan Walker stands in the tackle, about 9 metres in Melbourne territory. The ball played, and it comes from left to right to Silver to Moses, then back on the inside to Bensony. He's tackled about 34 metres out from the goal line. Stood in the tackle, did Bensony. Bring up the last, played 2 to Silver. Goes right Moses, up she goes. A searching, probing kick. Meany got interfered with, I thought. The ball is knocked on by Parramatta in any case as Meany hit the deck changeover. Melbourne has the footy, 10 out from their own goal line. Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4. 1 minute 10 gone in this second half. Is now from the play the ball. Suafai-Longo, as if hearing Luke Lewis's advice, makes a good break out of dummy half. He's 23 out from his own line and got an extra shove. So it's an early set restart here for the Melbourne Storm. They're 25 out from their own goal line. Grant goes right to King, centre field, and Josh King tackled, 31 out from his own line. Over the top of him there was Kautonga. Well played. They spread it left to right. Will Warbrick, who scored the first try of the season for Melbourne, 10 metres short of halfway. Grant sends the ball centre field left. Tackle made here right on halfway. Getting to his feet and playing the ball for the Melbourne Storm is Cooper Clark. Sends the ball left edge. Melbourne up over the Parramatta 40. Lasati stood in the tackle. Last play. Grant goes right. And it's through hands. Across it comes now to Jerome Hughes. He accelerates. Changeover. Gee, that was a poor play from Melbourne. Changeover to Parramatta. 28 out from their own line. And I dead set there, Lou. We don't think Hughes knew it was the last. 2 minutes 20 gone in the second half. And it remains 18-4 to Melbourne as Brian Kelly scored 30 out from his own line.
Yeah, very unusual set finish there for the Melbourne Storm. And I'm with you. I think they thought they had one more play up his sleeve, but they need to get that kick into that corner and make Parramatta look upfield and know there's 95 metres to go, but that's a good defensive set from the Parramatta Eels.
And Simonson plays it. Parramatta take it over halfway. It's a good set for them and a set restart for Parramatta, so both teams conceding one early in the half. Peasant gets it away. Kautonga, he got through Hughes, now claimed 32 out from the Melbourne goal line. The ball played to De Silva. Goes right, Hopgood to Walker, then links up out the back to Moses, gets the pass away to Isaiah Iongi, who is back on the field, and he's tackled 20 metres out from the Melbourne goal line. In over the top there was Munster, and he plays the ball now 20 metres out. Comes to the left, Walker to Hopgood, flicks the ball away, and that was not a good pass. Scooped up by Jerome Hughes for Melbourne, and he scored 22 out from his own line. So Melbourne off the hook again, and Jason Riles almost giving a Craig Bellamy impression there on the monitor that we could see. Here's a bustling run from Warbrick, caught outside his 30, played to Fai-Longo, cut to the ground by Pez at the marker, 14 short of halfway. Plays the ball out of dummy half goes Howarth. He's tackled 6 short of halfway. In there was Brian Kelly and also the winger Sean Russell. Now fits up, tackle 4 metres in Parramatta territory. Played to Grant, goes right to Hughes. Hughes accelerates into Kautonga, 31 out last tackle. And again, Hughes, their best kicker, goes down with a footy. Here's a kick from Cameron Munster. It's pretty shallow. Isaiah Iongi met it with purpose. Takes it well, 14 out from his own line, 4 gone, second half. Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4 to the touchline. Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, that's the second time in a row. Obviously, Hughes getting tackled with the ball in the 5th, then getting tackled on the 4th. Wasn't a great kick by Cameron Munster. Interesting to note, both teams have activated their 4 players on the bench. So all 4 players on the bench have been activated.
All right, so 2 left with each team in the blue vest as Parramatta have it 11 metres short of halfway. Down by 18-4. Now Moses out of dummy half. Dummy knocked to the ground. Great defence. 5 short of halfway. Making the tackle there was Cooper Clark. He's done some nice things. Kicked downfield by Jonah Pezzett. Suafai-Longo takes it 7 out from his own goal line. Then returns it. Bounced away from Pezzett. Got the pass away. Through hands it goes from Meany. He links up further out to the left edge. And the stepping run here comes from the set of Moses Leo. Caught 12 short of halfway. Plays it. Back to the open side. Right it goes to Meany. Meany steps past Walker. He linked up with supported Warbrick. Warbrick charges at Kelly. And now he'll play 2 short of halfway. Does so to Howard. Russell the marker grabs him from behind. Help from Hopgood about 2 metres in Parramatta's half. Dummy half Grant. Goes to the left. Wishart back on the inside King. And he's caught 10 metres in Parramatta territory. 5 gone second half. It remains 18-4 to Melbourne. Grant ran into markers and got the set restart for the markers offside. 6 restarts now for Melbourne as Grant scored 28 metres out from the Parramatta line by Hopgood. All play. They spin it to the right, Munster. Away centre fielder Josh King. Good strong run from King. Finally put to the ground about 20 metres out from the Parramatta line by De Silva. And also in there for the Eels was Dury. Now back centre of the ground, Wishart. Caught 14 out for the Parramatta line. Melbourne, their most threatening set so far of the second half. Grant Sends it left to Hughes. Plays out the back left to Munster. Got the pass away. Lasardi tackled. 7 out from the goal line. Parramatta desperate defence. They've got a hold on here. Grant to the right. Munster got the pass away that time. And now they're tackled through Cooper Clark. The metre out. Last play. Grant spins it away right to Hughes. Lovely short ball away to Joey Chan. And Alex's boy is over. Trident 10. Melbourne 22. Parramatta 4. This time running it on the last. Paid great dividends for the Melbourne Storm. Trident Chan. Brilliantly set up by Jerome Hughes. Melbourne extends 22 points to 4 over Parramatta Luke Lewis.
Well, that was just a beautiful set there from the Melbourne Storm. They set it up really, really nicely. They went over to that left edge, asked a few questions. They come back to the middle of the field. They had everyone in position out here on that right edge. Jerome Hughes gets it out the back in perfect position, and he sucks in Jonah Peasant, and that is just a beautiful little tip on there to find Joey Chan. He goes straight over, untouched, as easy as you like. That is a hole that you usually see Katoa run, but that is absolutely beautiful work there from the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, it reminded me very much of Eli Katoa, Louis, and look, Hoffy, Melbourne at its best is a very patient football team. They showed it there after a couple of questionable last tackle plays. That was a beauty.
Yeah, it's just sticking with their systems, isn't it? It's sticking with their systems, knowing that, okay, a few things didn't go quite right, but they get back into their system and just work back again. Great work there by Jerome Hughes. Held the pass up beautifully. Just created that gap in between Peasant and Brian Kelly. And I'll tell you what, Joe Chan has had a very strong game. Defensively been very good, and he's showing what he can do with the football.
So here's Nick Meaney, Hoffy. 20, make it 15 out. 20 in from the western touchline. A perfect first half, 3 out of 3. 32 and a half to go. Melbourne lead by 3 converted tries. So this is an important kick for Meaney. Well within his range. He strikes it, likes it, kicks the goal. He's 4 out of 4. Melbourne by 20. Storm 24. Parramatta 4 on opening night at AAMI Park with 7 minutes 43 gone in the second half. Now around the grounds, and the Sydney Swans look like they've hit the lead over Carlton at the SCG in the first AFL game of the season, 48-41. And still half-time in the Women's Asian Cup, 3-0 Matildas leading Iran. Your text on 0467 920 222. Nick in Melbourne says, has Hoffy been playing cricket this summer? Hoffy?
Yeah, I was playing cricket, but I had to stop after Christmas, unfortunately, because I've got my fingers in a few pies.
Oh, you do? You're SG Ball, assistant coach. You've ventured into AFL territory too, haven't you?
Yeah, helping out the Melbourne Demons in the leadership space. So they've had a good couple of trials, so looking forward to the season starting there.
You're doing independent podcasts. You've actually got a full-time job. You're doing this with us. Is there anyone you say no to, Hoppy?
Not at the moment.
Here's Melbourne with a footy. King tackled 32 out from the Storm line. Ball played to Grant. Comes back the open side left to far. Long out, threatened to explode through. Got past Riley Smith back on the field. Taken by Peasant on halfway. 15 in from the western touchline. Played to Grant with a one-hand pickup. Goes himself, steps, swings away from Dury to the 40. Then Hughes, quick inside ball away to far Longo. Beat one tackle Walker and now claimed by Smith and Russell. 31 out from the Parramatta line. Last tackle, short side right to Hughes. Up goes the kick. Coming down 10 out. Isaiah Yongi goes up. Warbrick tapped it back. Kautongi got there first for Parramatta. He tapped it back to Kelly, and the Eels have 16 out from their own goal line, but Melbourne in front 24-4, 9 gone second half. Now Sean Russell, he's going to be smashed backwards by the Melbourne defence. 15 out from his own line. Matt Dury off. Jack DeBellin back on for the Eels, their 5th interchange, so they had 3 left. There's now a Yongi. Counts it up at first receiver. Put to the ground by King and Grant. 21 out from his own line. Played to Smith. Goes right to Simonson and off the wing. And he's put to the ground. Munster involved in the tackle. Inside the 30-metre line of Parramatta. Smith goes to the right edge this time as Parramatta take it within 10 of halfway. And it's Jack Williams standing in the tackle. 6 short of halfway. Last tackle, Eels. Smith. Short side right to Moses. He reached the kick downfield, but Far Longo's got it tracked. Takes it on the full 8 metres out from his own goal line. Heads up over to the 20. And now taken by Smith and DeBellin, 25 out from his own line. Seems much more involved in this second half already, Louis.
Yeah, he's had a couple of early touches. He's looking sharp. He almost made a couple of clean breaks down the other end of the field just recently. But I'm a little bit worried for Parramatta. Their body language is starting to show some ugly signs.
Stefano Utoikamanu back on the field now for Melbourne, who are 11 short of halfway. away. Warbrick plays it. It goes right to Howard. I'm going to find out from you what ugly signs are with body language in just a sec, Louise. Now Grant from dummy half goes right to Hughes. Back on the inside, Wishart. Tackle 34 out from the Parramatta line. 19 in from the Western touchline. Last tackle. And Jack Williams, Hopgood would not get out of the road, which it is now the defender's responsibility to do. It can't be any of this accidental offside stuff anymore. Tuagamanu, after the set restart here for Melbourne, their 7th of the evening, caught 21 out. Too slow on the play. The ball, another set restart for the Melbourne Storm. We're on the surge now. Great strong run by Cooper. What an impact he's having. 6 metres out. Plays the ball to Grant. Goes right to Munster. Turns it on the inside to Wishart. Left foot step into Smith and Walker. It sounds like a legal firm. Tackle 4 metres out from the line in front of the southern post. Grant. He goes himself. Burrows into Smith and one over. And Harry with an 8. He's over for a double. Harry Grant's done it again. Melbourne's doing it again. 24 in a row. Here we come, baby. 28-4. Kick to come. Grant scores his 75th millionth try from dummy half in his career, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by ugly body language, Andrew. They're looking tired. They're looking flat. Melbourne are starting to really pick up their game. And just a simple try out of dummy half. Yeah, Jason Ryles will be absolutely filthy. They would have spoke about Harry Grant all week. Exactly what he's going to do if he gets an opportunity, or if he sees a quick play of the ball close to the line, he's going to have a go. There's a couple of Parramatta players there. They just don't get down low enough. They don't throw a shoulder into the tackle. And Harry Grant is too strong, and he's like a little bulldog there. Gets the ball down, scores a great try.
Touchline, Hoppy.
That was a straight one-on-one challenge. 9 against 9. Headgear against headgear. Harry Grant against Riley Smith. He saw him there and he took him straight on and just muscled straight over the top of him to score the try. It's been a great captain's knock by Harry Grant, who's seen the 2 tries that he scored, his great service out of dummy half, but the pressure that he has put on his kick pressure, getting out to Mitchell Moses, getting out to Jonah Pezzett, he has been relentless, and they have been kicking from inside of a phone box from his pressure.
So now Mini, 11 out right in front to send Melbourne to 30 points with 28 minutes to play. Here's Mini. It's kick 4 from 4 and make it 5 out of 5 right between the sticks. 5 tries to 1. It's been emphatic again. Melbourne 30, Parramatta 4. Here NRL Thursday on ABC Sport. On the text line 0467 920 222. Louis just using his own body language with me. Boys, so happy to hear Andrew on the radio again. There's been plenty of yelling in faces tonight to celebrate a small win. I'm confused why they're not getting 10 in the bin. Or is that a Hudson Young only rule, like the footy says Paul in Canberra? Andrew, glad you mentioned those soccer girls emphatically. The NRL is back. Maury's in good health. The A-team's back. What more could we ask for? Well, there is one thing. Love you guys. Oh, Luca. I know what that one thing is. An invite to the Christmas party. I think we've had one in about 5 years, Luca, but mate, next time you're invited as Louis +1.
And Luca, you'll be very happy to know that there is a road trip coming up at the end of 2026, the ABC team.
Now, Louis, I saw what you're lying to me, Gibbsy, but don't do it to our listener. Here's Melbourne, 29 out, especially not to Luke. Harry Grant sends the ball to the right to Cooper Clark. Every single time I mention his name, Cronk is dying to come out. But I don't think it has yet, as Wishart gets the ball away to the right edge, and the Melbourne Storm 4 short of halfway. And a dummy half, Grant turns it left to Failongo, who's looking more and more potent with every hitter. And he popped the ball away in the tackle to Lasati. Lasati takes on Mitch Moses and Will Bensity and dragged to the ground, only 33 away from the Parramatta line. Great set after points. Played to Grant on the last. Goes right to Hughes. The kick from 33 metres out. Isaiah Iongi in off the long run. Up he goes. Lost it. It's going to be a knock on Parramatta, I believe. Smith dives on it. And it is a knock on by Isaiah Iongi.
He's offside.
And now Riley Smith was about 10 metres offside. And the penalty does go to the Melbourne Storm. First penalty of the second half. They're now 4-3 to the Eels. 16 out, 20, and you've got to take the 2, haven't you? And just chew the clock up, extend
I reckon they score. I reckon they go through to set the score. Like, the body language of Parramatta is horrible.
Shout out to Gibbs.
If they don't pick their act up here, Parramatta, they could be another 50-point scoreline.
They do take the tat. Grant goes right to Munster, turns it into Wishart. Gibbs is over in New Zealand playing fancy pants golf courses with rich people. And I can imagine him in the golf club going, mate, Mate, take the 2 point. You never know when you're going to need it. Mate, you took a Manu now. He's caught 4 short of halfway. Am I wrong?
Yes, no, you're right.
Here's Grant, no, he half. Goes right, love you, Jonty. Comes away to Munster. Right foot step, one-handed pass away. Grant sends it right now to Chan, looking for a double. Caught though by Walker, 3 metres out from the goal line. Kautonga in there as well. Now Harry Grant fires the ball left away to Munster, takes on the defensive line, but DeBellin heads the defensive charge with the tackle. 6 metres away, Melbourne 30, Parramatta 4, 25 and a half to go. Now Stefano Utoikamanu. He went himself down the left side, stands in the tackle, a metre out. Last play, Grant goes to his right to Cooper Clark. He's over the line, but he couldn't get it down. Held up by Walker. That's 125 kgs held up there, by the way. Great effort in goal by Dylan Walker.
So impressive.
We're just checking it with the bunker and with Chris Butler, but Ryan Hoffman, what a moment. That was millimetres away from being.
There was 3 of them on him, and he's got a great grip, but it was the leg of Dylan Walker. He tried to put the ball down, but Dylan Walker's foot was in the way. Great effort from the young man on debut.
And equally, Louis, a hell of an effort from Walker. Your team's getting a touch-up, and that was tremendous defence in goal.
He loses it now into the Parramatta leg.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Good work there by Dylan Walker.
Incidentally, Louis, this is a new interpretation of the rule. So it's knocked on in goal by Cooper Clark, but instead of a 7-tackle set, it's a 20-metre tap and a 6-tackle set.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm so impressed with that Cooper Clark. The way that he carried himself out there tonight, he's been phenomenal.
So now for the restart, Parramatta 28 out for their own line. Junior Barlow back on the field, incidentally. So Parramatta, a strong run here from Will Betsney, but he loses the ball. Munster picks it up, sends the ball from right to left. It goes from Moses Leo. Terrible pass. Good hands though by Mini. And he's caught 30 out from the Parramatta line and 13 in from touch on the eastern side. 24 minutes 40 to go. And it's all Melbourne leading 30 points to 4. Now Melbourne 28 metres out. Lasati plays the ball to Grant. Goes to his right. Wishart away to Hughes. Turns it back on the inside to Chan. Good strong runner to Kautonga, Peasant, and also Barlow stands in the tackle. 18 out from the Eels goal line. Melbourne in pursuit of a 6th try. Comes to the left. Grant to Hughes. Then away to Munster out the back to fire longer. They got the overlap to Leo. Moves Leo straight past one. Through Benson and he's over to score. The Kiwi 7th star may well be a star at the 13 on 13 game. Moses Leo over in the corner. Melbourne 34, Parramatta 4, and Luke Lewis. Game, set, bingo. Melbourne's going to win again.
Yeah, they're going to win again. And just good to hear you say those beautiful words, Andrew. But this is just a training try here for the Melbourne Storm. But the way that they ran it, they just ran it 100 miles an hour. Harry Grant gets out, does everything perfectly. Jerome Hughes doesn't overplay his hand. Again with Munster, straight to Sua Farlongo, who I thought was actually going to use his speed and try and burn him at the start, but then goes through the hands. And that is a beautiful pass there to Moses Leo, who just uses his speed, gets that little bit of a shoulder lean, falls out of the tackle and slides over as easy as you like. But it's going to be a blowout. It's 34-4, kick to come. Wouldn't surprise me if they do hit the 50 before the end of the game, Andrew.
Yeah, look, the scoreline, Ron Hoffman, not as bad yet as last year for Parramatta, but I reckon they'd be more disappointed this time round.
Oh, certainly. With 23 minutes to go, there are still plenty of points that can be scored in. And I've got to say, geez, I'm happy I'm based at the southern end because there has been no football at the northern end of the field. And Parramatta, they've been their own selves to blame, giving away penalties, dropping the ball on the first tackle on the 20-metre tap. So, look, there's a lot of promise there for the Parramatta Eels, but tonight they are certainly not playing to their potential. Another note, because the Melbourne Storm have used their 17, they can activate their 18th man for Alec McDonald due to Jermaine Hopgood getting put into the bin. They haven't activated the 18th man yet, but they can.
Here's Meany from the touchline. He kicks the goal. He's 6 out of 6 after a Gibbsy style report from the touchline. But he's landed at Nick Meany, 36-4. Melbourne leading Parramatta with 22 and a half to go. Wow. Tony and Bundaberg, why not interview those Americans? It would have been great at half-time. Well, they were being interviewed on field. We didn't really get an opportunity. And Hoppy, you follow the NFL a fair bit. Do you know who these dudes are?
Sorry, mate, I missed that. I was just having a chat to Frank Thanks, Felicia.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate your time. So now the
Nice
restart
listening, Hoppy.
coming from Parramatta. ABC Radio, Hoppy.
Yeah, no, but what I was just checking, it looks like the Melbourne Storm will be activating Preston Conn, who will be on debut as the 18th man from the injury to Alec McDonald.
All right, now if I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. Love you, Hoff. Here's the kick-off, taken by Melbourne, 13 out from their own line. Now, I was asking about these LA Rams players. Do you any idea who they are?
Not yet. I asked to get a text message on him, and I haven't checked my phone because I'm a professional. But no, I've got no text message, so I don't know who they are. I'm sure they're tremendous.
All right, here's Harry Grant. Goes left to Stefano Utoikamanu, who's caught 28 out from his own line. 22 minutes to go. Melbourne 36, Parramatta 4. I don't know how Eels fans will be feeling at the moment after such optimism coming into this game and indeed the season. Munster caught 10 short of halfway, plays it to Grant, goes right with the forced quick pass away to Suafar Longo, and he backs his way to halfway. Last tackle Melbourne. Dummy half Grant goes right to Hughes. He puts up a midfield roost. Coming down about 30 metres out. Who wants it? Howard does. Taps it back to Chan. He's over the 30, the 20. Xiaomi Mi got a pass back on the inside to Clark. It's quick hands. Karma can beat for the Munster. Sent through a kick that Parramatta come away with. Downfield Xiaomi. Drag down 30 out. I don't know how Melbourne didn't score there at the end. And the Eels get it back on their own 30, trailing 36-4. As now Benson over the 40, taking 8 short of halfway, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, that was beautiful football. I'm just looking in the backfield at the moment. You've got Harry Grant down. Not too sure what it is, and he's signaling to the bench. So it could be cramped. I'm not too sure, but it's not good signs.
I thought it was cramp initially when he hit the deck. Parramatta in the Melbourne territory. Russell straight past one, but then got a pass back on the inside, and Kautongi went without it. Picked up by Cooper Clark. Go Coop. He got a flick pass away to Howard. He steps away from Marlaw, and now he's going to be caught 9 metres in Parramatta territory. The problem we've got here, Louis, is all the Melbourne New South Wales Cup teams in front of us, and they rose as one. We couldn't see a thing. Hughes goes left away now to Meany. He's going to be taken by Moses. And Williams, 35 out from the Parramatta line. Melbourne 36, Parramatta 4. Ball played now to Wishart. Goes right to Utoikamanu. Not to the deck, 29 metres out from the Parramatta goal line. Now Wishart goes to the right on the open side. Hughes hands it off on the inside to Chan. He's had a great game, Joey Chan. Tackled here by DeBellin. 23 out from the Parramatta line. Replacement here for the Melbourne Storm. Cooper Clark off, holding his ribs by the look of it. And on comes Josh King again. As from a little kick, Parramatta dive on it. 9 out from their own goal line. 20 minutes gone. 20 minutes left, second half. Melbourne 36, Parramatta 4. Louis, as the Eels take it down the short side right to their own 20.
Yeah, well, Cooper Clark just come from the side, the field, to the sideline, and all his mates up here in the stands in front of us just stood up and gave him a standing ovation, and he deserves it. He's been absolutely outstanding in his debut game, but here come Parramatta now with a half opportunity.
Junior Barlaw got a pass away to a juggling teammate. Back it comes to Barlaw, fends away from Hughes into Howarth and Wishart, and bustled to the ground 8 short of halfway. That's Barlaw at his best. Smith goes right to DeBellin, away to Hopgood. Steps into the defence. Munster was there with Utoikamanu on halfway. Now played to Smith. Goes left to Peasant. Links up with Iongi. Oh, great tackle, Chan. Ball and all. 5 metres inside. Melbourne Storm territory. Now comes to the right. Moses on the last. That's a towering kick down to Suafar Longo. Retreats. Has it 3 or 4 metres out from his own line. Heads up over the 10. And DeBellin covering along with Riley Smith. Bring him down. 19 metres out from the Melbourne Storm line. The ball played to Hughes. He sends it right to Warbrick. Powers over the top of Barlaw and gets to his own 30-metre line. Quickly played to Wishart. He sends it left away to Meany, who's caught about 15 metres short of halfway. Dummy half Wishart. Goes right to Karma Kamitha. Straightens into Smith and Hopgood Tui. Stands in the tackle. Held is the call you can hear from Todd Smith. Just short of halfway now. Wishart dummies from dummy half straight into the market. 4 metres into Parramatta's half. Last tackle Storm. Munster points at the defence. Then got the pass to the right to Hughes. Kick down to the left wing of Russell. He takes it. 14 out from his own line. Returns it over the 20. Good tackle Warbrick. 25 out from the Parramatta line. Scores around the ground. In the AFL at the SCG third quarter, Sydney Swans 66, beating Carlton 53. And in the Women's Asian Cup football, another goal to Alana Kennedy, her second. And it's the Matildas leading Iran 4-0 in the second half. Here are the Parramatta Eels now 10 short of halfway. Riley Smith Sends it away right to Jack Williams. He's taken 4 or 5 metres in Melbourne territory. Northern end, played to Smith. Comes left away to Bellin. Links up Hopgood, Barlaw. Quick hands away. Peasant to Kautonga. Flung to the ground by Howard. 32 metres out for the goal line. Last tackle, Parramatta. Played to Iongi. Goes right to Peasant. Puts up the kick. It's Farlongo against Iongi. Hughes hits the deck. Tapped back by Iongi. And diving on the ball, almost uncontested there, was Joey Chan for Melbourne. 17 out from his own line. 17 and a half left. Melbourne 36, Parramatta 4 is now Warbrick at first receiver. He's caught just outside his 20. We head down to Ryan Hoffman, who's on the touchline.
Yeah, there's a bit of carnage on the Melbourne Storm bench at the moment. Harry Grant walking over.
Here's a break, Hoffy. They're over the halfway line. Moses Leo runs around Iongi, comes back at him, and now put the ground. 25 out for the Parramatta line. We'll get back to Hoffy's carnage and a tick. Ball played out of Wishart. Again, goes straight into the marker. We've got the pass away this time to Sua Farlongo. Tip and chase Farlongo. The ball bounces off the upright. And Sua, he gets the try. That was brilliant. Chip over the top. It was like the good old days. Try to Farlongo. And Melbourne hit 40. Storm 40. Parramatta 4. Kick to come. Brilliant try. Set up by Moses Leo. Break. Finished off by Sua Farlongo. Luke Lewis.
Is there anything better than watching Sua Farlongo when he gets a little bit of an opportunity? Broken field, no one really expected anything. Just sees a little bit of vision, a bit of space in the backfield. It's a beautiful little kick over, gets the bounce, holds up against the post, and then puts it down 2 hands. Geez, I love watching this guy play football, and that is a beautiful try. And Melbourne absolutely on fire, and there's still plenty of points to come, and there's no Harry Grant on the field either. And they just look so sharp, Melbourne.
Well, Hockey, chaos on the field and off the field.
Yeah, it was chaos. I probably jumped the gun a bit with chaos. Harry's just got cramp, but the way he was carrying on, I thought something was seriously wrong. But so he'll be all right with cramp. Cooper Clark came off with a rib cartilage injury. He's going to get a bit of a needle in it, and he should be right to come back on. And look, what have we got? 18 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go. This is Sua Farlongo time. Parramatta are looking very, very tired. The boys in the middle are going to have to work hard because this is where Sua's shines.
All right, Hoffy, here's Meany, 10 out right in front. 6 out of 6 for him, and this is a gift. 7 tries to 1. What was last year? Was it 56 to 18? Here's Meany, and he kicks the goal. He is now 7 out of 7. So 42 to 4, 38-point differential, and 56 to 18 is what a 38-point differential. So it's the same. And Parramatta, it was their first time with a bit of a new roster and a new coach, and they were pathetic last year, especially in that first half. Crowd here tonight, by the way, 18,264, 18,264 at AAMI Park. Here it's a 38-point lead again to Melbourne, but Louis, the expectation so much different this time round for Parramatta.
Yeah, well, there was an expectation this game was going to be one of the games of the round, and it was going to be nice and tight, but Melbourne have come out with a totally different mindset. They started off for the first 7 minutes, they looked flat, but from there on in, they're looking so sharp. There's still 15 minutes on the clock. I reckon there's at least another 3 tries for the Melbourne side.
So here's the kick-off.
Found it out there.
7 tries to 1 so far. Kick-off taken by Hughes, gives it left away to King, and he's caught 12 metres out from his own goal line. 42 to 4. And of course, geniuses like us, Melbourne's not quite as good as last year. Here's a break again. Leo, he's over halfway, beat another, drag to the ground. About 14 metres inside Parramatta territory by Bailey Simonson, who's all over him in the bin. Go and celebrate. He's in the bin. 14 minutes 40 to go. Professional foul. Penalty to the Melbourne Storm. Penalties are 4 apiece. And Parramatta the next 10 minutes without Bailey Simonson, who either didn't hear the referee, didn't see the signal, or chose to ignore it. Now he's heading off into the bin, and that was one of the more blatant sin binnings for a professional foul you'll ever see, Louis.
Yep, definitely a professional foul. He's not very happy, which I wouldn't be either. But this is just soft. He ran through 3 Parramatta players. It was like they were playing touch footy. That was a beautiful carry there from the Melbourne Storm. It was a Yutuka Manu who made that break. I think it was. He looked so good in the open space.
So now Melbourne finds touch. Jerome Hughes, eastern side. 21 out from the Parramatta line. 14 and a half to go. 42 to 4. And now Simonson in the bin. as it comes left to right. Wishart away to Kamitha. Smith is there with the Bellin in defence. 17 metres out from the goal line. Junior Barlow was also there. Luke Lewis, Ryan Hoffman, I'm Andrew Moore. NRL Thursdays here on ABC Sport as Melbourne take it on the left edge. Lasardi tackle 5 metres, make it 7 metres out from the goal line. And in there was Bensony over the top. Ball played to Munster. Goes right, Wishart to King up the middle. Bit of a settler into DeBellin and Barlaw. Still standing, Josh King. Held is the call, 10 metres out. Ball played to Wishart. It comes away right to left to Utugamanu. 2 metres out from the goal line. 2 tackles left for Melbourne. Up 42-4. Louis points to the left. Tyron Wishart went that way and then stepped back into the markers. Didn't have the Harry Grant explosiveness. Last tackle now. Played to King. Pass on the ground, Munster. Puts in a stab kick. Coming through to get the ball down is Lasardi for the try. Too easy. This is a pumping. It's 46-4. Melbourne may have a lot more left in them because Parramatta is listless. They've got nothing. Melbourne 46, Parramatta 4, the try to Lasardi.
Well, obviously Parramatta are down one player, and then there was Bailey Thompson, I think, who went off on that right side, and they just kept peppering them. They had a couple of opportunities to score a try, but this is a beautiful little kick from Munster. Lasardi gets through the hole, gets a nice bounce for his chance to score that try, and just puts it down 2 hands, gets up, gets animated with the crowd, and like I said, there's still, 12 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock. They are absolutely on fire, this Melbourne side. They are looking so good. I feel sorry for Jason Riles. Like, I don't know what you actually say to him after this performance. It's horrible.
Adivali Lasardi in to score. Touchline, Hoppy.
A lot's been spoken about with the back rowers for the Melbourne Storm about what they're going to be picking up from the players that they're replacing in Sean Bloor and Ellie Katoa. The back rowers for the Melbourne Storm, Lasardi and Joe Chan, they have been tremendous tonight. Both of them have scored tries. Very, very well deserved. Look, for Parramatta, there's no special reason why they were defending their line. They let a front rower make a 40-metre break off a kick-off set. That just isn't good enough for NRL.
So now the kick coming, 24 metres out, a metre in from the eastern touchline for Nick Meaney, who's kicked 7 from 7. It's an 8-try effort from the Melbourne Storm. Got a question for you, Louis, too. A listener asking, how can Parramatta be so cooked in the opening round of the season? Here comes the kick from Meaney. He's chipped this one, heading towards the post, but it's across the face, no goal. His first miss, but it is 46 points to 4, Melbourne over Parramatta.
You can sometimes play the game in your head, and coming down here to Melbourne, it's a big task. You come down here, you think, you're in half a chance. Then your energy levels go out, depends on what they've eaten during the day. I'm not too sure what it is, but I'll watch them in the warm-up. And I've got a message I sent me, mate. I said, they look very flat, Parramatta. I'm not as bullish as what you are on them. I'll even show you the text. It was horrible. Melbourne looked sharp. They come out here to win, and they come out here with a purpose. I just felt like Parramatta expected it to happen, didn't want to make it happen.
Well, they could be out of premiership contention in 1 try's time. They concede 50, and Mezzers, Dodson and Williams from the LA Rams in front of us enjoying the Melbourne Storm experience. I knew one of them wasn't Stafford, that's for sure. Here's Melbourne 17 out from their own goal line as they work it from left to right to the try scorer, Adivali Lasardi. Backs his way, 25 out from his own goal line, 11 and a half to go. It's a crushing performance by Melbourne, leading 46-4, and there's no sign of a let-up at all here. They work it up over their 30. Ball played now to Wishart. He goes right to King. King charges into the defence, 3 of them there, Pezzett, Smith and Barlaw, 3 short of halfway. Played to Wishart. Goes left to Hughes, away now to Munster. Links up with Failongo. Floats a beautiful pass. Over the top it goes. Meaney puts it on the toe. Here comes Failongo. The ball tapped away by Parramatta. The Eels have it back. They crash into each other, Russell and Moses. And it's a knock-on. It'll be a Melbourne scrum feed, 10 out from the Parramatta line. A rueful grin from Mitch Moses, but the truth is, Louis, this is becoming embarrassing for Parramatta.
Yeah, absolutely embarrassing, but that is a beautiful pass there from Sua Failongo. He's really come to his own in this second half. His first half was a little bit quiet. It took a bit of time to sort of find his feet, but he's looking so sharp in that number 1 jersey now. And now that the Parramatta are down 1 player, there's so many opportunities opportunities with someone like with his speed and his footwork, going to cause a lot of drama out there for the next 5.5 minutes.
Here's the scrum feed on the text line. The Eels always give us false hope each year, says Jenny. Maura, great to hear your voice. And to Louis, a question, wish I could play 9 for any other team in the league. Agree or disagree from Eamon?
What was that?
I'll get back to you. Here's Melbourne. It comes to Hughes. Pass knocked down by Parramatta. Peasant. That'll be a scrum feed again to Melbourne. 15 out from the Parramatta line. I'll direct you to the same radio station as Hoffy.
No.
All right, the green button on the ABC. Listen. So the question was, could Tyron Wishart play hooker for any other team in the comp?
Absolutely. Tyron Wishart can play hooker, 5'8", fullback, centre, anyone for almost any other club.
Okay, good answer at the end. Hi, Andrew, Louis and Hoffy. Could the Eels be out of contention the first round under the 50-point rule, asked Paul? Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're a try away from having to defy history. 9 minutes 18 to go. Melbourne wins the scrum. Terrible pass from your man Wishart. It's picked up though by Munster. Longo ran in front of him, but Munster succumbs in the tackle. 18 out from the Parramatta goal line. Dummy half Wishart now goes open side right. Hitting the ball up for the Melbourne Storm. Davey Mawali in his first appearance for Melbourne. He scored here 11 out from the Parramatta line. It's played, and it's Wishart, right to left Hughes, back on the inside to Karma Kamitha. Stands in the tackle there of Smith and Iongi. 7 out in front of the southern post. Wishart goes left to Munster, plays out the back to Moses Leo. They're inside the 10, Parramatta. Another set restart for Melbourne. They're 9th of the night. 8 metres out. It comes to the right. Munster away to King. King gets a flick pass in the tackle away to Munster. Fends away from Barlaw. Then puts on a step. Then he accelerates Cameron Munster. Old twinkle toes. And he's dumped to the ground ultimately. About 9 metres out from the goal line. Munster to his feet. They're set to the right. They go that way on the open side. Wishart to Karma Kamitha. Taken by Kautonga and Peasant. 8 out from the goal line. Wishart goes to the left to Hughes. Runs at the line, offloads to King. The ball bounces at the back. Hughes falls all over it. And Parramatta come up with a bouncing ball. 9 out from their own line, and Melbourne concede a stupid penalty. 10 metres out from their own goal line, and it was someone who doesn't normally give them away, Jerome Hughes. Laying all over the tackle player, so a penalty to the Eels there, 5th of the night. 10 out from their own line, 7 minutes 46 to go. Melbourne 46, Parramatta 4, and Bailey Simonson in the bin for another 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Eels find touch, 15 short of halfway. We check in with Ryan Hoppin on the touchline.
Yeah, Melbourne Storm are getting their second NRL debutant tonight with Preston Conn with the card in his hand, getting ready to come on and to get his first taste of NRL.
He's pacing down there, Hoffy, down at the northern end of the ground. Preston Conn is now Parramatta with the footy right on halfway. Ball's going to be played to Silva. Goes left through hands. Kautonga gets it back to Iongi, who slowed down, and Hughes takes him. Ball and all, 39 metres out from the Melbourne line. AFL, the Swans now thrashing Carlton, 93 to 54. Is that three-quarter time? It is. As the Eels are 31 metres out. Ball's played. De Silva goes left to Peasant. Plays out the back. A tip on from Iongi. Russell comes away with a 30 out. Ran away from Howarth. Right foot step by Russell. Claimed 21 out for the Melbourne line. Last tackle Parramatta. De Silva goes right, Peasant. Up goes the kick. Moses chasing it with some vim and vigour. But it's a great catch by Nick Meaney. A metre out from the Melbourne line. 6 minutes 30 to go. 46-4 to Melbourne. A reminder after the game, Hoffy will get the reaction from players on field as a huge cheer from the Melbourne Storm support base here with Conn coming onto the field. And it's Parramatta with it, defending Melbourne with it, 15 out from their own line. Yeah, these guys, Preston Conn, they gave him a great cheer, and I guess there's a fair amount of them who are hoping that'll be them one day running on for their debut. And Will Warbrick, time off, says referee Todd Smith. He's going to get checked out, Will Warbrick, for a possible HIA. 6 minutes left in the half, 46-4 to Melbourne. Yeah, after the game, Hoffy will get the on-field reaction. Louis will have the ABC Player of the Year points. And then the three of us to take you through until 10:30 tonight, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And no doubt questioning how good Melbourne could be this year, and equally, what's the matter, Parramatta? 46-4 to the Storm.
The only good thing Parramatta's got up their sleeve is that all the momentum's gone. I actually can't see another try now in the next 6 minutes. I feel like I don't know if you can feel the shit's been all let out, but that's the only good thing for Parramatta. But I'll tell you what,
there's no good thing for Parramatta.
Well, they can't hit 50s. That means they can still.
What do you mean they can't hit 50? There's still 6 minutes to go.
No, but I don't feel it now.
You've got flat.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed they didn't score last set.
So last year it was 46-6 at half time. They scored 10 tries to 3, and now it's 8 tries to 1. A 42-point difference. As Melbourne outside their 20. As it comes to the right, through hands, Wishart, Hughes, Falongo overlap. It comes from left to right now. Melbourne up over the 40. Up over halfway. This is a mighty run. If only I could see who. I think it was Joey Chan. He plays the ball 28 metres out. Comes to the left to Hughes. Then away to Wishart. Away to Munster. I think they've repaired the burst balloon, Lou. We know they haven't. There's another big hole because they've sent a forward pass. Parramatta will get the ball 20 out from their own goal line. 5.5 to go. And it's 46-4 in favour of Melbourne over Parramatta.
I expected that then.
Come on, I need you to lift. I need you to lift, Louis.
Yeah, look, 5 minutes to go. They do look they still look pretty sharp. But 46 seconds till Bailey Thompson come back on for Parramatta. They're still down one player as you did get 10 minutes. And there's a restart there for Parramatta.
So Parramatta scored first in the 5th minute. Have they got another try in them? As Brian Kelly goes up over the 40, he got through Kamitha. Held is the call. 6 short of halfway with 5 minutes left to play. As Louis says, only 20-odd seconds left for Simonson in the bin. To Bellin. Sends it right to Junior Barlaw. Caught on halfway. Played 20 in from the eastern touchline. The Seagulls are out in force now. As it comes to the left of Tonga. There are more Seagulls than Melbourne Storm points, and that's saying something. 32 out from the Melbourne line. Wishart made the tackle on Tonga. They work it right, the Eels, to Bellin to Walker. Cut out pass away to Moses. He turns it back on the inside to support. And Jack Williams, a great tackle. Cam Munster, 21 out. On the last, it comes left to Moses. Puts up a cross-field kick, hoping for Russell. Up they go. Russell comes down, but he's short of the goal line. Change over, Melbourne survive. 4 left. Russell ends up knocking it on. Melbourne 46, Parramatta 4. Down to the touchline, Ryan Hoffman.
There's going to be plenty of things for Craig Bellamy to be happy about after this victory, but the biggest thing he's going to be pleased about is the defence of the Melbourne Storm for 75 minutes. The first 5 minutes was absolutely rubbish with Parramatta scoring on their first set, but since then, their scramble, their contact, their desperation has been on show, and that's what's kept the Parramatta Eels to only 4 points.
Now, Hoffy, I'm going to say this slowly, and if it seems to people that I'm a poor simpleton who can't quite have this sink in, they're right. This is 24 first-round wins in a row, Hoff. 24.
Yeah, it's just an amazing record. It's got a lot to do with Craig Bellamy's pre-seasons are so goddamn hard. You're that stoked to play football finally that you want to get the win. So, look, it's a fantastic record, and I can't see it getting broken.
Here's Lasardi now. The ball comes away to Wishart over halfway to the 30. Back on the inside, Kamitha. Pass away to Munster. Ball off down the back to Sewer. Fire! And 2 tries Longo. He's over. It's 50. Melbourne Storm raised the bat for the half century. They lead Parramatta 50 points to 4. What a try. Finished off by Sewer Falongo. About 3.5 to go. And that is now 9 tries to 1 Luke Lewis.
Yeah, 52 to 4. There's the premiership gone for Parramatta in round 1. But this is really nice work here by the Melbourne Storm once again. Just going through what they've been practicing all year. A couple of beautiful little offload. That's where it come from. And then Tyron Wishart looks up, throws a little dummy, and he's in the backfield. I thought Tui Kamitha was going to go himself. All the crowd stood up. They thought he was going to get there. And I reckon Cam Munster didn't realise there was someone behind him. But he keeps the ball alive. And the man on the spot, the number 1, it is Sewer Falongo. He's had a really good game in the second half. Gets a double. And that's beautiful work by the Melbourne Storm.
Down to you, Hoppy, on the touchline.
This is just unbelievable. Look, I was concerned being a Melbourne Storm man, very, very concerned the Melbourne Storm tonight. I thought they were right to get beaten. But this was supposed to be the year that they were going to be down, most disrupted pre-season. But they have just absolutely turned it on, turned out some champagne rugby league. I mean, who would have thought this scoreline before the game?
Yeah. It's extraordinary. Melbourne 50, Parramatta 4, 3 minutes to go. As we said before, not only is Melbourne a powerful opponent, but history is a very powerful opponent. And it'll be the same going into round one next year. Whoever they play, Parramatta will be hoping desperately that the gibberers who put together the schedule every year won't do this again.
They surely can't put Melbourne up against Parramatta down here.
Unless they've got a really twisted sense of humour like you. 10 out right in front, Nick Meaney. He moves in with the right boot, kicks the goal again. He's 8 out of 9, 52 points to 4. The margin is 48 points around the grounds in the AFL. Final quarter, Sydney Swans aren't giving it to Carlton, 105 to 54. And in the Asian Cup second half, still the Matildas leading Iran 4-0, 2 goals to Alana Kennedy. Your text on 0467 920 222. Andrew, is there such a thing as a double game set bingo or only single? Because this is time for a double, reckons Paul in Brisbane. I know what you're saying, Paul. Oh, Parramatta Rachel, I'm almost reluctant to have a look at this. Because I can imagine how you're feeling as the kickoff's taken. 7 out from the Melbourne Storm goal line, and they bring it back over the 10 through Lasardi. At 39 years of age, born in 87, what I wouldn't give to see a premiership in my lifetime. And every time it feels closer, there's a game like this. Oh, she adds a lull at the end. Good on you, Rach. Here's Melbourne with the footy. I mean, Rachel was born outside this time, but in 1986, Parramatta won a premiership for the last time, and Louis, they were the dominant team up till then in the 80s.
Well, Rachel, I can give you one tip. It will come good for you. Just hang in there. It will come good. You've got to be very patient.
People have been saying that for 40 years.
Yeah, they said the same thing with the Sharks for 50.
Yeah, that's true. It's a long wait.
It is a long wait.
As Melbourne 35 out from the goal line, Howarth. It's a long time between literal drinks. Here's the high kick from Jerome Hughes to Isaiah Iyongi. Up goes Leo. Oh, great catch, Iyongi. 11 out from his own line for Parramatta with 90 seconds to go. But I appreciate your glass half full, Louis.
Yeah, so depends how you look at it.
Comes away right to Benson. You can also look at it, 1986, what are we, 2026? Long time. For a club that, again, dominated that first 6 or 7 years of the 1980s. Parramatta, 20 out from their own goal line. The ball played now to the replacement hooker, Talon De Silva. He sends it away to the right edge to Bailey Simonson, who is back on the field, by the way, back from the bin. Inside the last minute we go. Penalty against Melbourne for interference in the ruck and a bit of a late push and shove. Bailey Simonson is there giving Joey Chan a bit of a shove, and a penalty goes to Parramatta 6 for the penalty count. That's something they're winning in the Eels. 37 seconds left. Also on the text line, 0467 920 222. I hope Louis leaves something for Ryan. It's been so great having you back, Andrew. I didn't need this. I've had a horrific week. Oh, that's from another one from Rachel. Sorry, Rach. Is Parramatta on the attack, 8 metres in Melbourne territory, and you'll have about half an hour after the game to either vent your frustration or, if you're a Melbourne fan, express your delight on 0467 920 222. Parramatta 18 out through Kitione Kautonga. Last play of the game to Silva. Goes right to Peasant, then a flick pass out the back from Walker, scooped up by Moses, and he appropriately sends the pass into the crowd. That's it, and Parramatta wins. Handsomely doesn't cut it. They have thrashed Parramatta for the second year in a row in round one. They get past 50 for the second year in a row in round one. They've won by 52 points to 4 here at AAMI Park in Melbourne, scoring 9 tries to 1. For Melbourne, tries to Will Warbrick in the 11th minute, Harry Grant in the 15th, Jack Howarth in the 27th, Joey Chan in the 47th, Harry Grant again in the 52nd minute before leaving the field with cramp, Moses Leo in the 56th minute, Suafai Longo in the 64th, Atavalu Lasati in the 67th, and Farlongo a second try in the 77th minute. Nick Meaney great with the boot, 8 from 9. 9 restarts for Melbourne. Parramatta's 4 points. A try to Sean Russell to take the lead in the 5th minute. Mitch Moses none from 1. Jermaine Hopgood on report in the 1st minute for a high tackle on Alec McDonald. McDonald had to leave the field with a Category 1 HIA not to return. And Bailey Simonson sit in the 66th minute for a professional foul, 5 restarts and a blown challenge in the first half. And the penalty count 6-4 to Parramatta. Half-time, Melbourne 18, Parramatta 4. So they've scored 34 unanswered points in the second half, Melbourne, to win 52-4 before a crowd of 18,264, the majority of which, Louis, would have absolutely loved what they saw out here.
Oh, absolutely. The only part they wouldn't have enjoyed was the first maybe 5 minutes. Parramatta got that nice try, but from there it was all Melbourne Storm. They played absolutely brilliant. They ran so hard and direct. They got back into their routine. They run out their training trials, I'd like to call it, the way that they absolutely executed out there. They were shifted from left to right. Their back rolls were amazing. Suafalongo had a really good game at fullback in the second 40. Took him 40 minutes to find his feet. Harry Grant, absolutely outstanding out of dummy half. Yeah, they didn't do anything wrong, the Melbourne Storm, but again, their defence on their line, the game was over. They kept turning it up. They kept stopping Parramatta from getting over that line. They kept them to 4 points, and that would be the most pleasing thing there for Craig Bellamy. So, look, if I was Jason Riles, I'll be at Parramatta Stadium tomorrow doing tackling practice.
If you were Jason Riles, you'd have been at the airport half an hour ago.
Yeah, I probably would have rang up with 10 to go and said, mate, can you get me on an early flight?
Melbourne Storm will play St George Illawarra in round 2 in Wollongong on Saturday week at 5:30. And I've got bad news for Parramatta. Their next game is next Thursday night at Lang Park against the Brisbane Broncos, the premiers. So I can't imagine it's going to get much easier. Final score, Melbourne beating Parramatta here 52 points to 4. I've got my eye out there on Ryan Hoffman. We'll get to him shortly. Players still shaking hands and high-fiving and bro hugs and all that sort of thing out there. But we'll get down to Ryan Hoffman shortly. And Hoffy, just as you're waiting for players there, what an effort that is from your old team.
Yeah, it really was tremendous. I'm just waiting for Harry Grant. He's just shaking hands with everyone seeing Jonah Peasant. Look, that was a performance I don't even think the Melbourne Storm expect. The Melbourne Storm have a lot of high expectations on what they're going to do on the football field, but I don't think even in their wildest dreams they would have expected to put a performance in like that. Let's not forget, they were dreadful in the trials. They conceded a whole heap of points and only scored two or three tries. So it was concerning times, but that just shows you take that trial game form with a grain of salt, because then they turn this up when it really counts.
All right, mate, I'll get back to you. Got the an eye out on you down there, and your work experience, Kitty, is helping you too very much, Timothy, down there on the field of play. He looks like an excitable little one out there, Timothy. And, well, what a game this guy had. What about his second half? Joey Chan, he's down with you now. Ryan Hoffman.
Yeah, here I am with Joey Chan. I first met Joey when I was about 2 years old, when I was playing with his old man. The old man would have been proud of that performance from you tonight.
Yeah, it was a decent performance from the boys. They helped me push my game. But like the preparation during the week, we all stuck together. We got a game plan, and we, as you seen on the scoreboard, we really pursued that game plan.
Obviously, you never would have expected a score like this. You would have been confident in what you put together. But is this a performance you think had been coming, or is this something that really took you guys by surprise?
I would sort of say it took us by surprise, but during the preparation, we really spoke about earning the right. Through the trials, we had a couple ups and downs, majority negative. We come in, fresh start and preview, and we just said, we're going to narrow it down, do the simple things right, and as you see by the scoreboard, we've done the simple things perfect.
First 5 minutes, things were looking a bit dicey, conceding quite a soft early try, but the next 75 minutes, it really was Melbourne Storm defence, a lot of scramble and a lot of pressure in with your defence. Was that the message from Craig at half-time?
The message from Craig from last time is, it was our completion. It wasn't good enough at the first side. It could have been better, sorry. And, it was just a simple task again, just completing our sets, making our tackles, and, just kept repeating.
For you, it's filling in some pretty big shoes on that right edge of Eli Katoa. We saw a couple of Eli Katoa moments here tonight, putting pressure on Jonah Peasant, knocking the ball out and scoring a good try, hitting the line on that edge.
No, it was good. Ali, as a leader he is, he sort of put his selfishness to the side and, and helped us push especially myself, pushing me, give me some pointers how to improve my game. Really, big thanks to Ellie. So yeah, it's been good. So it's been good.
Keep it going, Joey. Good luck for next week.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, Joey Chan down there with Ryan Hoffman, and that's pretty cool, isn't it? Someone he's known since he was almost a baby, and had an enormous second half. Mind you, all of his teammates did too, for the Melbourne Storm. And Hoffy getting in there amongst it. And, well, what a night. This kid that Hoffy's about to speak to, Ryan, is 19 years old.
Yeah, he was. He just got stolen by one of the TV networks, so I will get him back. But as we're waiting here, I'll see if I can chase the fella that I was originally wanting to chat to in Harry Grant. H. Yes, here he is. I've nailed him. I've tackled him. The man of the moment. I don't know how he can run too fast with a cramped calf, but Harry, mate, great performance from the boys. Is that a scoreline you expected?
Yeah, I don't know if Bell's a bit too happy. Cramped calf, subbed myself off, but that was pretty scary. But yeah, no, I think we're pretty happy. Obviously, we had plenty to work on there from the trials, and combination wise and just attitude wise, the way we went about our business. So I think tonight, we'll take a lot of learnings and be really happy with the performance.
For you as skipper, what's the most pleasing thing that came out? Was it the defence, or what was it that the team came back from a bit of a rough start?
Yeah, I think it was just the attitude towards the contest tonight. Like, I think in the trials we probably dipped our toe in, and we're probably, looking to round one too much rather than sort of being nice and present. So I feel tonight everyone sort of just got stuck in and did their role for the team, and sort of set their games up, and everyone at times got some nice rewards, with some enjoyable footy there.
It's been the most disrupted Melbourne Storm pre-season / off-season that we've seen in a number of years, with players leaving and injuries to major players. Is a start like this something that can really set your season up?
Yeah, I think it's probably always the case. There's always a little bit of noise probably north of us, but we're pretty lucky down here. It's pretty isolated, and we go about our business. And yeah, pre-season was good. We had a lot of young, fresh faces come in, and they really sparked the group, and some of them got their rewards out there tonight. And I think they did an extremely good job. And fingers crossed we can just keep building.
You yourself, mate, strong performance. Obviously, you score tries for fun in round one, but I really think the effort of getting in there and putting kick pressure, was that a personal goal? Was that a team goal to really put pressure on Moses and Peasant's kicking game?
Yeah, there's probably a few things that I look to in my game that I, can control each week and, really want to do for the team, and that's probably one of them. You're always in the picture to put kick pressure on, and obviously Moses and Pez, we know how good of kickers they are, and as a halves combo, they're pretty lethal in terms of where they can put the ball. So if I can sort of be ahead of my footy and put kick pressure on them, then I think that's hopefully part of my job that can help the team.
24 round one wins in a row. Round one's easy, isn't it, Harry?
Wish it was round one everywhere. I think it's probably, I guess it was spoken a little bit more about this year, but in past years it probably hasn't been spoken about. But I guess it's just a byproduct of training hard through the pre-season, and like yourself, there's always the old boys that are sitting at home watching the round one, knowing that they were a part of it, and they've all contributed to that sort of stat or history record, whatever you'd like to call it. And I guess we got a bit of a duty to uphold that, and I think the boys really bought into that, and it's pleasing to see it's still there.
Well, thanks, Harry. Go ice up that calf, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Hoff.
Yeah, that was great. Harry Grant speaking there with Ryan Hoffman. We'll see if we can't get one more, and then Hoffy can rejoin us upstairs for the post-game show here on Thursday NRL on ABC Sport. Now, we've got the 19-year-old on debut with you, Hoffy.
Yes, I finally got hold of him. He's a man that is very much wanted from teammates, TV. Mate, NRL, it's pretty easy, isn't it?
Oh, nah. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but probably not as hard as IDQ, so that's all right.
I know all about the IDQ camp, mate, don't you worry. But look, I suppose coming down here for an opportunity, being full-time and getting a start in round one, everything spoke about how hard Melbourne Storm pre-seasons are. You definitely feel the reward of it now.
Yeah, it's feels amazing. It's definitely how much you want to put in is how much you get out of it. So if you want to put in all the hard work, you're going to reap the rewards at some point, and I just got lucky enough to reap them in round one. So yeah.
What was the messaging from the coaching staff to you on what they wanted to see from you tonight?
They just wanted me to play my game. Go out there, be confident, and just stick to what I'm good at. Don't try and do too much, but just do what I'm here for, and then hopefully I did that. So yeah.
Second generation footballer. Your dad played for West. You got a bit of family here tonight?
Yeah, I got mum and dad, obviously. A few, my auntie, my brother, and one of my pop. So yeah, dad played for West and Dragons, so it was always good to have him as a kind of thing to reach at. So yeah.
All the good ones come out of St. Greg's, don't they, mate?
Every time. St. Greg's to the world.
That's it. Thanks, Cooper. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Appreciate it.
How cool, Cooper Clark. That IDQ camp, Hoffy, is that a St. Greg's thing?
No, the IDQ camp is a Melbourne Storm thing. It's the army/military camp that every Melbourne Storm player has to do, but for some reason I did 3 of them.
Wow. All right, mate. See you back up here shortly. Ryan Hoffman, premiership winner with the Melbourne Storm. When you think about that, what Harry Grant said, Luke Lewis, about the 24 in a row, they're that used to winning that many first round match. They didn't even talk about the record this year.
Well, I thought they said he talked about a little bit more than usual.
I took that to mean that they not less than usual.
Yeah, but what I love what he said is the part that, Craig Bellamy said, just think about all the past players that wore this jersey.
Yeah.
And they'd be sitting there on game one knowing that this is something that they are very proud of. And
there'd be some who played in that first one 24 years ago be a grandfather now.
Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I really like the way that he entered that. And it is a stat that should be more spoken about because it's very hard to win. Like I said, I don't ever remember winning that many first round games. So to do it 24 years in a row, Craig Bellamy is a freak. And I do go back to what all the players say. It has to be their pre-season, and I do hear that Melbourne are the hardest training team when it comes to pre-season, and I think Penrith's right up there. So there's no surprise why they're probably the benchmark clubs.
All right, full-time score 52 points to 4 around the grounds in the AFL final quarter. The Swans by 50. Leading Carlton 111 to 61, and second half of the Asian Cup 4-0. Matildas leading Iran. Leo Clark, by the way, the father of Cooper, he's only 47 years of age. Ralph Tucker just sending me some details about his career. Played 8 games for Western Suburbs in 1998 and 1999. I would have met Leo back then. I worked with West in 99. And 4 games for St George Illawarra in 2002. 12 games, 2 tries and 4 goals, Leo Clark, in his first grade career. Thank you, Ralphie. Mate, what about your ABC Player of the Year points, Louis?
I tell you what, it was hard because so many great players out there. But I thought Harry Grant, their skipper, he was definitely their best player on field. I know he come off with 18 minutes to go, but had some cramps. You don't want to over-risk it. You don't want him to have any sort of muscle strains. But he gets my 3. Brilliant.
Well, the game was over, wasn't it?
It was way over. But I actually thought when he went off, how many points are they going to score? But they did a great job. But Harry Grant was absolutely outstanding. I'm going to give Joey Chan too. I thought he was brilliant on the edge. I thought both their edges were really, really good. They did such an amazing job in defence. Their forwards did as well. And Jerome Hughes, I'm going to give him 1. You can't not give him 1. His kicking game, his passes, some of those passes he put on, especially for the first one to Will Warbrick. There was a couple of other passes. He was just amazing. So, look, the list goes on. I want to give Cooper Clark a massive rap. I think he's got a massive career ahead of him. I really do. The way that he played tonight and the way that he carried himself on the field, absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see how his career unfolds. I think it was really, really good tonight.
And for a young bloke too, to come into obviously, well overweight for what's required for NRL footy, and to shed that, and obviously in a very healthy fashion, and to impress Craig Bellamy that much, he's in the right spot.
He's in the right spot, and the person to get the best out of him is going to be Craig Bellamy. And I seriously can see him as a one-club sort of a fellow at the moment. Like he comes here, makes his debut, the way that he played, you could tell that everyone loved him. Sitting up here with all the boys sitting up here, they were going absolutely nuts when he came on the field. Nearly scored a try on debut in the middle of the field, which was brilliant. So, yeah, I can't wait to see how that unfolds for him.
Ryan Hoffman's back in the broadcast box. Nice job down there, Hoffy. Parramatta, on the other hand, dear oh dear. I mean, they were horrific in the first half last year. They were horrific in the second half this year. They get beat 52 to 4 48-point margin with so much expectation coming into this season. I think we said in the call that they'll be feeling worse this year than last by tenfold.
Certainly. I mean, it was a much worse performance last year. They had a few excuses. They had a few excuses last year on what, with it being a new roster turnover and a new coach and working out a new system. But there was zero excuse tonight. And to be honest, they run up the white flag. With some of the tries that were scored and some of the line breaks, I mean, I think Stefano had a really, really strong game and is obviously, a representative class front rower. But you don't get front rowers running 60 metres off a hit-up against quality sides. And Parramatta, they have the potential to be a quality side, but they definitely weren't tonight. And I saw Mark O'Neill, their director of football, downstairs, and I said to him, mate, he goes, did you expect that? He goes, I've never been more confident going into a rugby league game, and there's going to be a lot of disappointed players down there, and as well there should be, but it doesn't get any easier for them next week.
I was talking on the flight to Melbourne today, Hoffy, to someone who's followed Parramatta for many, many years, decades and decades, and he said it's the 4th year in a row he's come to Melbourne to watch them play, and he said this is the only time I feel like we've got a real chance. And I get the feeling a lot of their fan base was in the same area. Optimism, such a very impressive second half of last season. The raps on Jason Riles are enormous, and everyone's buying into what Riles all about. And then to put in an effort like that, I'm not sure how do you recover from that.
I don't know. They've got the Broncos next week.
Yeah, in Brisbane.
They have the Broncos and the Premiers. And if they toss that up again, it's going to be a very similar scoreline, if not worse, if that's possible. It was the fact that they gave up, and some of their defensive efforts was very, very poor. There were some shortcuts taken there from some players. So there's going to be a few players in their team that are going to have a long, hard look at themselves, or they're going to be finding they're going to be spending the year in reserve grade.
On the text line, 0467 920 222, the gear steward says it was all downhill after Parramatta's opening try. They scored first in the 5th minute.
And easily.
With a player down.
Yes, that's right. Hopgood was in the bin.
They did better with 12 players.
Wow. Andrew, great to have you back. Hello to all the Storm doubters, says Mikey from Bendigo. But it seems to be the case just at various levels. I think you certainly would have experienced this in your playing days. There are always Storm doubters because their turnover, I think people would be shocked if they look at their year-to-year turnover of losing good players because of salary cap and whatever else. There's no Ryan Pappenhausen this time. Xavier Coates not there. Eli Katoa not there. Sean Bloor not there. There's some firepower not in that team. I get why people, including me, hands up guilty, although I thought they'd win tonight, that you think they can't be as good this year. You can't be without those players. But Joey Chan has a blinder. Lasardi looks like a heck of a young player as well. My goodness, it's just a production line down here.
But I suppose it shows that everyone in the club's replaceable, aren't they? Everyone's replaceable because as long as the person coming in to fill up that jersey is going to do their job well, and that's what happened tonight. Joey Chan and Atavalu Lasardi, they didn't try to do anything more than their job well. And that's exactly what they did. They did the little things. They defended well. They ran strongly. They put their inside pressure on when they needed to. And that's what you expect from him. Moses Leo. Moses Leo is probably playing his 3rd or 4th NRL game. And he had a tremendous game tonight. Defended very, very well. So, look, it just shows when you get an opportunity, you got to do your job and do it well. And that's going to get you in the NRL.
Me, though, on that.
Sorry, Louis.
I was going to say is that it's the respect that Craig Bellamy's got and earned. I think that's where you come here, you don't want to let someone like Craig Bellamy down. And I think every time I talk to someone about Craig Bellamy is how he gives people a job to do. And he doesn't give them a job too big. If there's someone out there who doesn't think you can do it, I don't think he'll give you the chance. But if he genuinely believes you can do the job, he will tell you, go out and do your job. For me, I think the biggest fear for Melbourne Storm, everyone was thinking about Melbourne Storm not being as good this year is because you haven't got Ryan Pappenhausen at the back. But this kid, Sua Farlongo, he is a superstar. He still didn't get his defence right tonight. He missed a few tackles. He overran his tackles. Going to get better as the year goes on. I reckon the first thing Craig Bellamy would have been jotting down there, we need to work with Sua, getting inside shoulder, making sure his inside shoulder's in the right position. That will come. He's working with Billy Slater. The back rowers, they've got covered. Obviously, you're not going to replace someone like Elias Katoa, but the boys that are there tonight, they run great lines. They're hard workers. They work really hard in defence, and they kick chase really hard. It's all the back row needs to do.
Yeah.
And if you've got everyone else on the inside doing the right things, you've still got Jerome Hughes there, Cam Munster, and Harry Grant, and you're throwing a superstar in number one at the back. There ain't going to be any easy beats.
Can I just say what I liked about Sua's game? Look, we were talking earlier on in the game, he needs to inject himself, I like that he didn't try to overplay anything. You know, he didn't have to go out there and feel like he had to do everything out there to prove that he's the NRL fullback.
Yeah.
He probably could have imprinted himself on the game a little bit more, but he was patient with what he did.
That's a good take, yeah. Because you can, especially when you've got such individual brilliance. And you've heard what everyone's saying, no Pappenhausen, no Melbourne, potentially. Like, you could overplay a hand, and that was impressive, because the longer the game went, the more he had influence.
Yeah.
0467 920 222 for Ryan Hoffman, Luke Lewis, and I'm Andrew Moore. Our Parramatta Rachel wrote back again, Louis, to say thank you for the glass half full stuff.
I'll look after you, Rach.
Janine from Indurapilli says, hey, Louis, love your half full attitude to Para. Hang in there, Para supporters. We booked early last year to our first grand final. Broncos supporters, say no more. Just turn the radio on. So great to hear the dulcet tones of Andrew Moore. Mark and Donna from Maryvale supporting Australia's best league caller. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Donna. Really good to be back, I promise you. Andrew, these two teams will play again in round one next year in Vegas, says Angry Dog. Well, that's a very good question or statement, Angry Dog, because Parramatta and Melbourne have not been to Vegas.
No.
And my understanding is Parramatta has been given an assurance from the NRL that they will be there next year. It would make so much sense for Melbourne to go, having not been in the past. But you couldn't be that cruel. If whoever you are, if you are a robot in AI world, or one of those blitherers in Canada who's been doing the draw for God knows how long, you could not be that cranky on the world to put Parramatta against Melbourne again in round one.
But if they did, they've got to make it the second game, because if they do and they get another blowout, they're all going to leave.
Well, just don't match them up.
Look, at least it wouldn't be in Melbourne, because there was a golden point one up in Parramatta.
When Harry Grant scored the winner in extra time?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. So they do better when it's out of Melbourne. Then maybe Vegas is far enough from Melbourne where they could do the job on them.
Yeah, possibly. Trev says fair dinkum the Eels are a bunch of flops. 0467 920 222. Tomorrow we are on air from 2 p.m. Australia. No, we're not. It's Friday tomorrow, isn't it? I keep thinking today's Friday.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Feels like a Friday.
Okay, I'm not on my own here. But 5:30 tomorrow we're on air on ABC Listen. And the green button of the app. And 6 o'clock, myself, Lou, and Michael Carianis in the boardroom will be calling the New Zealand Warriors Sydney Roosters game from Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. Then at 8 o'clock, the Brisbane Broncos take on the Penrith Panthers. You'll hear that with Quentin Hull, Billy Moore, and Zane Bojack. And speaking of the Broncos, I caught up with Brisbane's premiership winning coach Michael Maguire on our new show, NRL Monday. And he was really pleased with the journey the side's been on in the last 12 months, but equally looking forward to the season ahead.
I walked into the Broncos where they were at, and I felt that if I could get the playing group and the organisation on a path that I guess felt that was going to bring the success, and they bought into that, which they did. We were able to find what was been missing for a long period of time. So, but we're hard at it again now, mate, and the season starts on Friday, and really looking forward to what's ahead.
You had those three incredible finals wins, all massive, come from behind efforts against Canberra, most notably. I still don't understand how you won that game. It was incredible. Then against Penrith in the prelim, and then against Melbourne Storm in that great grand final. You gave away that massive start and couldn't quite run them down. That's Hull KR in the World Club Challenge. So how does that stop? Because you said after that game in England, we have to stop giving away these starts. But is that a player's mentality? Is it on you in terms of preparation? How does it change?
Oh, I think that all matters, and I take responsibility being the coach. So you're looking at different strategies of how you can get your starts right. But going towards the back end of the season last year, we actually had some good starts. But a game of rugby league's, you're battling for 80 minutes, and we fell behind at times in those games and managed to get the front again and fell behind. But I guess the one thing that the team has shown, to find success in the NRL, you got to play for the full 80 minutes, and that was something there that we've been able to do. And I think the whole KR match was a good sort of shake, I guess, to let us know that, you know, you need to make sure that you've got to get your starts right, you've got to battle throughout. We just didn't, we made a mess at the start, you know, and then all of a sudden before you knew it, we were behind by 18 points. And, you know, we came back, but it's something there that, you know, we'll make sure that we work hard at to get our start right, and because we'll be playing against, you know, a quality team on Friday, and we're going to have plenty of our fans there, and I'm hearing it's to sell out, so I think it's going to be a great spectacle, but also too, knowing how to win those games is something there that we're, you know, continually trying to discover.
And look, you've experienced this not only at NRL level but in the UK as well. Teams are coming for you now. Your Broncos are looking to go back-to-back. Extremely tough to do in any sport. Is there a secret to maintaining the levels of the previous year, or are you completely starting again?
I wouldn't say starting again, because the experiences you've gone through now have made you a better player, a better team. So we'll definitely be calling upon those. I mean, we learned a lot going through last year. You know, people sort of said that we're written off and we're gone, but to the players' credit and the staff's credit, we stayed the course, and, you know, we found the style of how we wanted to do things. So I think that's just, you know, we're on the journey again. You know, round one will be round one, and we've got to focus on that, and then we'll go to round two. So, yeah, we'll chip away at each week, and you know, the way the players are connecting and being together at the moment is a real high level, you know, and we've got to use that, obviously off the experience that we've had going to England. I mean, it was an incredible experience, but one that we want to make sure that we use now because of the tightness of the group.
The always impressive Michael Maguire, with whom I spoke on NRL Monday, which is 6:30 to 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time every Monday now during the rugby league season. Lou, I noticed Cooper Cronk, he doesn't think Brisbane is capable of going back-to-back. He said they're a top 4 team, but they don't do well backing up from successful seasons. How strong do you think they're going to be again this year?
Yeah, look, I understand where Cooper's coming from, because, a couple of years ago they got to the grand final, and then the following year they didn't back it up. So the writing's on the wall. They're a class side all over the park. But it's a different game of footy when you are at the top and everyone wants to beat you. You know, Penrith are the only team who've really sort of been able to step up and show that they can go back to back and do what they need to do. It's going to come down to how hard do they work and how much do they believe they can do it again. You know, have we hit the pinnacle and we've hit the success that we want, or do we want it again? Every time I listen to Penrith talk, it's not about the ring they won. It's about the next one they're going to win. You know, the next one's the best ring. So I feel like the attitude is totally different between the clubs to compare. So I think Broncos will be thereabouts. I do believe they'll finish in the top 4, but I don't think they'll make the grand final.
Yeah, look, I don't think we're going to see a massive fall on them. I think they're definitely going to be a top 4 team.
Still a really good side.
They're a quality side, and knowing Michael Maguire like I do, he is turning over every single stone possible to ensure they give themselves the best opportunity. But it's whether or not the players that think, I've already got my premiership ring, do I need to work as hard this pre-season? Is this too hard? We shouldn't be training this. Like, that seem to be some of the whispers. Whether or not they're true coming out of Broncos land, I don't know. But hopefully for the Broncos' sake, they realise what the good things that can come out if you work hard and if keep fighting, because they showed some tremendous fight in the back end of the year, and that got them the premiership.
So who are you tipping tomorrow night?
Broncos.
What about you, Lou?
Penrith.
Oh, well, you always tip Penrith. Yeah, it's going to be great matchup. It is great to have these blockbusters so early in the season, isn't it? Full-time AFL, Sydney Swans 132, thrashed Carlton 69, and full-time in the Women's Asian Cup, a comfortable win for the Matildas, beating Iran 4-0, despite having at least a couple of goals disallowed in that first half. Elsewhere in the round, Cronulla, Sutherland, Gold Coast Titans. Louis, the game will be back on Saturday at Shark Park. We spoke earlier today with Cronulla prop Tom Hazelton, who's starting up against Tino Fa'asuamala Awi and Michael Fotuaika. Titans, so disappointing again last year. Des Hasler lost his job. Josh Hannay gets the opportunity. Will they be any better this year, the Gold Coast?
They'll be a little bit better, and I've given Joshy Hannay the benefit of the doubt here. I really like him as a coach. I think he'll get a good response from his players. I don't know how he's going to get the best out of his players just yet, but one thing with the Gold Coast and the Sharks is the Sharks don't seem to play well against the Gold Coast Titans. So it's going to be a tough one. I'm tipping the Sharks because I don't tip against the Sharks or the Panthers, but I think it's going to be a little bit hard. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be fought right down to the last 10-15 minutes.
And Hoffy, 7:30 game tomorrow night is Manly Warringah against Canberra at Brookvale Oval, and it's not quite like it'll be when Daly Cherry Evans plays against Manly for the Roosters. But Jamal Fogarty's first game for his new club was against his old club, so he's going to be in for a heavy reception from his Canberra teammates. What are your expectations for both of these teams this year?
Well, Canberra need to show that they're not just one-hit wonders. Like they were brilliant last year. They were literally one kick away from getting to the prelim and an easier run into the grand final. So they need to show that they're not pretenders. And last year wasn't a fluke. Look, Anthony Seibold, it really is an unknown. We're looking at a new era with Fogarty. No Daly Cherry Evans, so they're sort of the last sort of piece from that old start of the 2010s. Of those players, he was the last one to leave from that successful period from 2011. So it's a new chance for the team, and look, it's seeing how it's going to go. I'm interested in the halves combination for the Raiders, the two Ethans. Ethan Strange was my most favourite player last year, and I'm looking forward to seeing his combination with Sanders.
Hoffy, great to see you, mate. Looking forward to your comments right throughout the 2026 season. What an awesome start for your old side, the Melbourne Storm. We'll catch you soon.
Thank you very much, Maury.
Thank you, mate. Ryan Hoffman and Luke Lewis. Been a pleasure again, mate. I'll see you, tonight in the morning.
Yep,
on the plane, and then tomorrow night in the boardroom.
Can't wait, but thank you so much for tonight. Hoffy, it was great to be down here, and season 2026, here we come. How good.
We're underway. Melbourne beating Parramatta 52-4. Thank you to Stuart Hollywood Baker, our man of sound down here in Melbourne, the work experience Kitty Timothy, and also to Ned Hall in the studio. Thank you, Nedley. Good luck for the remains of the Asian Cup. And thank you for listening. I'm Andrew Moore. Look forward to your company from 5:30 tomorrow. What a start for the Melbourne Storm, defeating the Parramatta